Bruners on the South Loop. And don't forget to support the Stephenville Yellow Jackets as they go for their 4th state championship.
For
12,000 to 7,500 on the home, 4,500 on the visitor side.
All right, so there should be a there may be 7,000-8,000 here before the night's over at least.
Was Steve Ross supposed to get you some programs?
No, Ernest was.
Did Ernest get us some programs?
And Ernest, I understand, did not even get a walkie-talkie. So.
Oh, that's terrible. Ernest, hate to hear that. Kicking off for the Jackets, number 14, Brent Virgin. He is the specialty pooch kicker. Back deep for the Rebels is Carter and Jordan. Get ready, Jackets going from left to right on your radio dial in the visiting white with the Navy headgear.
Looks like there's a hole for a pooch.
Getting set. Pooch is in the middle of the field. It will be taken at about the 15-yard line. It's Booch. Botched, goes back to the 5. It's touched on the goal line and having to make a move and then hammered by Scott Lee at the 5-yard line. Number 2, Teddy Carter, is the one that tried to take the ball and had it bounce off his leg, then go back to the goal line, had to bring it out, and then Scott Lee hammered him at the 5.
And in defense of the young man that did make the return, I think he thought the guy in front of him was going to get it, Boots.
And I did too. If you looked on the play, Justin Hedrick at about the 20 ran a long way, so he would be out of the way of that football as it's coming down.
For those of you listening at home, if you saw the game yesterday, it was very reminiscent of Rusty Greer and Tom Goodwin out in the outfield.
You got it. No, you got it.
No, I think neither one of us have it.
Pokluka is under center. One back behind him is Miles. Handing the ball over on the right side, Miles will get to the line of scrimmage, and that will be it. Stepping up quickly for the Jackets was Gordon Carroll, as well as Gilson in there for Stephenville. Also Scott Lee from his outside linebacker position.
Yeah, Scott Lee quick across that line. I think Miles looked like he wanted to go out that side, and being a defensive end that Scott Lee is, he just turned it inside like he's supposed to, and Miles didn't have anywhere to go once Gilson stepped into the middle.
Press box a long ways from the visitor side with all the Stephenville fans. Crowd mic will adjust that some back and forth so you can hear the Stephenville applause. Pokluka is once again under center. Play action. Then gives the ball over the right side. A loss this time as taking the handoff over the right side was Teddy Carter, number 2. He will get maybe to the line of scrimmage. No, they will not even give him that. It is a loss of 1 on the play. Was it Miles or was it?
I think it might have been Silver that was in there first.
Well, I'm talking about the ball carrier.
Yeah, Miles.
It was Miles? All right, I saw a 2 or a 0.
Is that 99 that's in there? As you said,
we are a long ways from the field up at the top of this picturesque stadium. 3rd down and 12 for the Rebels of Richland. Under center once again, Pokluka. 2 backs split behind him. 2 receivers to the far side. Straight drop. The left-hander throws out in the flats. Underthrown and almost intercepted. Almost coming up with a pick was Jesse Fanning. And if the ball had been short to him, he'd be dancing in the end zone right now.
That might have been Harmon that, he might have tipped that ball just a little bit or hit the arm of Pokluka, and that was the reason the ball was so short. Well, the Jacket defense did exactly what Coach Briles wanted them to do, I'm sure, on that series, and should have great field position after the punt.
Russ Davis into kick for the Rebels, and now the snapper and punter combination in pregame for the Rebels was having a lot of trouble, so watch to see as the punter on the play, Davis, is standing on the back end line, waiting on the snap back to him. Snap back to him is a good one. Kick is away. End over end kick will only hit at about the 35-yard line. It'll bounce straight up in the air, take a Rebel bounce forward for 2 yards, and then go backwards. So Stephenville will have wonderful field position at the Rebel 36-yard line to start. A flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage. Only 32 yards on the kick, but remember, there is a big swirling wind in the stadium, and I imagine it'll take them some time, a couple seasons, to figure out what the prevailing winds do in this stadium.
Looks like they're going to be talking to Stephenville, so
do you make them kick it again?
I would.
It was only at the 4-yard line. You're only talking about going back 2 yards.
Yeah, but he's still standing on the back of the end zone line. I think I'd have him kick again. They are.
Well, the advantage is you think about, can you get the ball closer than the 36-yard line, and what Briles may do is send his returners, Feltz and Briles, put them on the 35-yard line and say, if you've got a chance, catch it and maybe get a few more yards.
And it really didn't look like we were going for any block that time, did it, Boots? I mean, just kind of contain them, make sure nobody runs, and hope for good field position.
So they will be forced to punt again, do the Rebels. The ball will be marched back to the 2-yard line after the penalty. Must have been some type of illegal motions or offsides against the Rebels. 10:18 to go here in the Bank of America first quarter. Stephenville 0, Richland having to punt after their first series. Feltz and Briles stand at the 40-yard line as Davis gets set to kick from the back end line again. Snap back to him is good. No rush again. This is an end-over-end kick that will only hit at about the 30, and this one will go out of bounds. Where out of bounds? At the 30?
No.
What?
Okay. No, he's going to look for a spot.
All right, coming
He should
back.
be about 27, maybe.
At the 33-yard line. My goodness. Well, we gain about 4 yards on the play. 31 yards on that kick as the ball, the officials say, go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line.
It did look to me like it crossed that line on the blue before it landed. Oh, well. If that's the worst call we get on that, we're pretty good shape.
Two receivers to the near side, one to the far side as Briles is under center, two backs behind him. Haney, the fullback, and Hunter, the tailback, who now comes in motion to the near side. Play action, Briles throwing the deep fade on the far sideline, has Douglas caught at the 20, makes a move, gets down to the 15-yard line. They'll say he stepped out of bounds, however, at the 19-yard line. First and 10 for the Jackets on the first play from scrimmage as Briles hooks up with Douglas. 14 yards on that reception.
Back behind the dock.
5'7", defending 6'5", is that what that is?
Well, that's exactly, if you look over there, it's Aaron Jordan, who is 5'7", 115 pounds. Anthony Jordan, and you're right, Douglas, who's 6'5" over there. Why not throw it there first?
That might have been an easy call for Coach Briles.
Briles throwing out the flats, has Hunter, 20, gets a block to the 15, gets inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. I pick up on the play of about 6 yards on the hookup from Briles to Hunter.
Well, what a great block from Madkins downfield to get Hunter really about 5 more yards. And that's, of course, you know, sometimes the quarterbacks and the guy catching the ball are really overshadow what the you know, the other receivers do downfield to make this offense work.
Big receiving package in the game right now as O'Neal lines up as a tight end on the left side, and then also you have Tate, a tight end on the right side. They'll shift out of it with 4 wingbacks on the left side, and Briles rolling in shotgun that way, and there was some movement on the right side of the line. So that'll be illegal procedure against Stephenville, so wipe off that first play they had. It'll set up now second down, in about 5, in about 10.
Well, they throwing the commercials on the Jumbotron every chance they get.
Should we do some play-by-play on the...
what is it?
It's like some monkey and the gorilla. This is like an old Japanese
It looks like
movie.
yeah.
It's Godzilla versus King Kong.
Mighty Joe Young or something.
Second down and 9. Jackets are at the Rebel 19.
Throwing the commercials on the Jumbotron every chance they get.
Should we do some play-by-play on the...
what is it?
It's like some monkey and the gorilla. This is like an old Japanese
It looks like
movie.
yeah.
It's Godzilla versus King Kong.
Mighty Joe Young or something.
Second down and 9. Jackets are at the Rebel 19-yard line. Briles and shotgun running the option to the left side. Now will step up, finds a seam, gets inside to the 15-yard line, keeps his feet. Good running down to the 12-yard line as Kendal Briles did a nice job to make several people miss him. Lacks about 3 yards picking up the first down. It'll be third down and about 3 at the 13. The Jackets need to get to the Rebel 10-yard line here on their opening drive. 8:30 and counting in the Bank of America first quarter. Richland was forced to punt on their opening drive. Briles is under center, 2 backs behind him. Walker is the tailback. Wingback look on that same side, handoff to Walker. Walker trying to find a seam. Good hard running, gets to the 9-yard line, and he will have enough for the first down. A good surge over the left side behind Smithwick, Doty, and Doty over there. Picks up the first down for Stephenville.
Yeah, that was a good surge. It looked like he might have been stopped at about the 12-yard line, Boots, from my angle. Then all of a sudden, as you said, the Doty's, Keggins, Smithwick had just shoved that defensive line backwards and got him the first down goal at the 9.
So it is first and goal, as John said, at the 9-yard line of Richland. Briles under center, pitch to the near side. Hunter looking to cut up, finds a seam, 5, touchdown. Zach Hunter, when he found the seam, shot through it like a lightning bolt with the block of Derek Haney. Stephenville scores first, 6-0. first touchdown scored here at the Birdville Independent School District Fine Arts and Athletic Complex.
Yeah, and how appropriate that it's a 9-yard run by Zach Hunter, which is about his average.
Pretty typical. Jackets line up in the swinging gate. Now they swing it back to the middle, and the extra point personnel makes their way onto the field. Doty is the deep snapper. Petronas is the holder. And Eben Nelson getting set for the extra point. Snap back, hold down. Kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good. With 7:53 to go in the Bank of America. First quarter, Stephenville 7, Richland nothing. We're back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Look at that Chevy Silverado. I could rule the pasture in that. And there's a new Sunfire. I could get some bovine babes with that. And how about that Montana? Big enough to get a hold of all my little doggies. With all these nice cars and trucks, you'd think this guy could find an easier way to ride to work.
Hey, watch it. A little bull goes a long ways. I'm Greg Bruner for Bruner Motors. Come see us on the South Loop in Stephenville.
Years before America's electric cooperatives forged the nationwide alliance, Touchstone Energy, neighbors built their own electric utility to power lives and communities. Now Touchstone Energy cooperatives serve millions of homes and businesses. Customers large and small get state-of-the-art technology and affordable service. From the one-room schoolhouse to the communities and businesses of tomorrow, trust Touchstone Energy, the power of human connections. Brought to you by your local Touchstone Energy partner.
At Jake and Dorothy's Cafe, we're serving our third generation. The year was 1948. The same year LP records were introduced. Harry S. Truman was elected president, and Humphrey Bogart was packing them in with Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Jake and Dorothy Roach began offering high-quality food, prompt-friendly service, and fair prices. This almost overnight success continues today under the direction of their daughter, Carrie Roach, who's proud to continue Jake and Dorothy's commitment to providing the best food, service, and price in the area. At Jake and Dorothy's, a little bit of history comes with every meal.
Hey, Boots, with that score, a generous donation is going to be made to the Erath County Meals on Wheels by Scott Osmond, attorney-at-law. That scoring drive didn't take long. 5 plays, went 33 yards, capped by Hunter's 9-yard run. The Nelson point after is good. It's 7-0. That scored summary brought to you by Lupi's on the South.
Getting set to kick off once again is Virgin. Virgin approaches the ball, his own 40. Deep kick this time, end over end, will be taken by the up man this time at the 10, up to the 15-20, looking for a seam hit at the 25, escapes to the 30-yard line, making the return, Daryl Jackson. The guy that would not take it earlier, or was it Hedrick? No, it changed my mind on it.
That was him.
The up man that last
34.
time would not take the ball, this time decides to. I'm sure the coaches said something to him.
Yeah, he wasn't going to let that go by, was he?
Justin Sanchez, 34, that's the return man we were looking for. So 1st and 10 for the Rebels at their own 30-yard line. Pocluda once again is under center, 2 backs behind him, offset to the near side, split receivers. Pocluda under center, pitching to the near side, going to the sideline and getting nothing. Taking the pitch was E. Corley. Eric Corley took the pitch, the fullback. Maybe even a loss of a yard on the play. It'll bring up now 2nd down and 11.
Well, that's a good defensive play by Scott Lee there as he just fought off the block. I thought it looked like they were going to chop him down, Boots, and he fought off 2 guys and allowed time to come in there and help out. So far, that front four holding their own against his big offensive line.
Pocluda again under center, I formation this time behind him. Tight end look to the far side. Running the option and in some trouble is Pocluda. He hands the ball to the dive man. The fullback will go forward for about 3 yards. I believe it was Corley again. 27, Eric Corley took the handoff. So it'll now set up 3rd down and 7 for the Rebels. 6:48 and counting here in the Bank of America first quarter. Stephenville 7, Richland nothing.
I would suggest that Richland get a 1st down here, or their defense is not going to be real happy with the Boots, because as easy as the Stephenville Yellow Jackets scored on that first series, I know they'd love to have the ball right back.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Play action now. Draw play in good running room. Cutting back 35 is Miles. He gets out to the 40, across the 45, 50, down the near sideline 40, and then run out of bounds at the 30-yard line of Stephenville. Let's say he stepped out at the 35. And Johnny, what's the best thing usually to do to a Stephenville defense that's really penetrating hard?
Run and draw right by him.
That's exactly what happened. Miles took the handoff in the draw formation from the quarterback who was dropping back. All the defense shot right by him, and there was a lot of open running room.
Well, that was just a great call, and you're exactly right. They ran by it just over 30 yards on that run.
So it will set up 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Stephenville 35-yard line. Pokluda under center, 2 backs behind him. Running the straight-ahead draw, Pokluda, a la Weatherford last week, picks up about 6 yards to the 29-yard line, and I'm sure that the Richland coaches probably saw that last week.
Yeah, well, Stephenville gives up the big first down. Now they're going to have to batten down the hatches and not let them go any further. And that's what I was talking about. They really needed a first down right there, and they got not only a first down, but 31 yards on that run. So that was the play they needed by Miles.
So it's a 2nd down and only about 4 needed for the Rebels. Pokluda again under center. 2 backs behind him, split receiver, straight drop. The left-hander over in the flats, throws and gets his receiver. A quick curl pattern thumb to Daryl Jackson, enough for a first down to the 22-yard line. And it's just kind of always awkward for me to watch a left-handed quarterback.
Yeah, and it's a little awkward for your defense, too. They have to kind of rearrange things on defense. I believe the receiver wanted just that amount of yardage and no more.
I don't think he wanted to face any hits from the secondary.
He went down pretty quick, didn't he?
It is 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Stephenville 21-yard line. Pokluda under center, I formation this time. Tight end look on the far side, split receivers. Handoff on the right side, Miles. Miles trips at the line of scrimmage. He'll go forward for 182 yards. It'll set up 2nd down and 8, 5:17 and counting. Here in the Bank of America first quarter, Stephenville 7, Richland nothing, but the Rebels are now on the move at the Stephenville 20-yard line.
Good tackle that time by Gordon Carroll as he was being chopped down at the line of scrimmage, reached out there with that right hand and knocked down the Miles. Really little, about a yard and a half gain.
Pokluda under center, I formation. Once again, Corley, the fullback, Miles, the tailback. Straight drop. No, it's the draw, and this time the Jackets sniff it out. Back at the 25-yard line, a big loss of the handoff to Miles. Back at the 25, a loss of 3 on the play. Justin Monk shooting in from his linebacker position, making the stop. And remember, this is a man the coaches said might only be about 80% because of the deep thigh bruise.
Well, and you know, what do you do when maybe sometimes what does Coach Copeland do when the defense is kind of getting pushed around a little bit? It seems like he always blitzes or, has his linebacker step up in the hole like that. Just a great call that time, Monk, right where he needed to be.
3rd and 13 for the Rebels. Definite passing situation, but watch again possibly for the draw. Pokluda under center, straight drop. He will throw. Looking to set up the screen on the near side. It's set up beautifully, but over the head of Miles. It looked like Miles had some running room in front of him. Gordon Carroll was starting to close on the play, but I think the Richland coaching staff got what they wanted right there, Johnny, even though it was incomplete.
Yeah, and one of the receivers for Richland is, that was the kicker. He was saying something to the officials, so you might watch for a fake right here.
On the hold for the Rebels as they will attempt this field goal is Gallegos. The kick will be attempted by Russ Davis. This one will come from 42 yards. Snap back, hold down. Kick is on the way. Plenty of boot on this one. It is up, and it is hooked no good to the left. So with 4:03 in the Bank of America first quarter, unless the clock continues to run, it continues to run.
Well, it's a new play.
Finally, it stopped at the 3:55 mark. There will be a change in possession. Stephenville leading 7-0. Jackets will take over at their own 25-yard line.
Well, that was a good defensive stand after the one big play. Maybe we can check in with Steve Ross here in just a minute, and after Coach Copeland has an opportunity to talk to his defense down there. That was, give up a big 30-yard play and then give up nothing else is exactly what I'm sure he wanted them to do at that point.
2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. Briles is under center. The one back behind him is Hunter. Throwing out to the flats, over the head, but caught by Douglas. Interesting angle we have in the press boxes. I thought Avalos was the intended receiver in the slot. It was over his head, but Douglas was right there to make the catch. 5 yards downfield. It sets up 2nd and 5.
And Boots, it is possible that it was over Avalos' head when Douglas got it.
Well, Avalos was in the slot, and there was no one on him.
Go from 5'8" to 6'4".
To the near side, running the option, giving to the first man through. Haney finds good running room across the 35-yard line. It's enough for a first down after the 6-yard carry from Derek Haney, and it is 1st and 10 Stephenville at their own 31.
Well, I guess I probably don't need to say it anymore, but it is good to see Derek Haney back on the football field, and not only being out on the football field, but contributing to this football team. Because, well, anybody wanted to be out there as that young man, he's worked hard to get back to where he wanted to be this year. You got to take your hat off to him.
Two receivers to the near side. Briles is in shotgun with Hunter standing next to him. Wingback look on the same side as the receivers. Now Hunter goes in motion to the far side. Briles straight drop, looking to throw. Throwing deep across the middle, over the head of Bashaw. He was starting to clear on the secondary, was Josh Bashaw, but just over his head from Briles. It'll set up now 2nd down and 10 from the 36.
Doesn't it look a little weird throwing to a number 7?
Yeah, you keep thinking, well, is this a trick play where he's going to stop and then throw it himself?
It just looks a little strange, doesn't it? Boy, that was a pass that was just barely overthrown, and as you said, he was just beginning to, Bashaw was just beginning to clear.
3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Now Hunter comes in motion to the 3 receivers. Briles stepping up in the pocket. He'll decide to run, and he'll go to the outside. 40, finds a seam. Good block from Douglas across midfield. 45-yard line, 43-yard line is where Briles is knocked out of bounds, and a late flag. You can expect another 15 yards on top of this one.
Man, what a great fake he put on number 99, Litton, back at about the Stephenville 38-yard line. He faked inside, and he bit on it. When he did, Kendal just ran by him to the outside. Let's see what the call is here.
It is a dead ball personal foul against Richland. Obviously, they rode Briles out of bounds on the far sideline. So tack on 50 from the 43, and you'll get to about the 28.
A second penalty now in the game against Richland. You know, a gentleman called in during the Yellow Jacket huddle with David Davis. You know, he had him predicting the score.
Sure.
And he said, I think everybody's forgotten they're playing a 5A team. It's going to be 21-7. I'm just going to tell that gentleman, maybe he forgot this was the same 5A team they played last year, who won by 45.
Twins to the near side, twins to the far side. I heard another caller say 50-0. Briles throwing across the middle, has O'Neal open, 10, down to the 5, keeps his feet down to the 3-yard line. And I think what sums it up best, if you saw the free safety, Anthony Jordan, after the play, Johnny, he looked at Douglas on the 3, and he just slapped his thigh pad saying, here we go again. 24 yards on the hookup from Briles to Douglas.
Man, that was
Douglas,
pretty.
excuse me, to O'Neal.
O'Neal, that was beautiful. He was open right down, just running the seam of the field, and they made that look pretty easy. Now get ready to, if you're a Richland Rebel, to get banged on a little bit.
1st and 5 for the Jackets. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Briles under center, running the pitch to the near side. Hunter looking for a seam, will cut up and will get not quite back to the line of scrimmage. He'll be stopped at the 6-yard line. Looked like the Rebels had everyone on defense floating that way as the Jackets gave the pitch that way. Loss of 1 on the play sets up 2nd and goal from the 6.
It looked like the play Hunter scored on against Weatherford on the first touchdown last week, only running the to the left instead of the right. And I think Richland was pretty much ready for that one.
2nd down and 6 for the Jackets at the Rebels' 6-yard line. 7-0 Stephenville with 1:42 and counting here in the Bank of America first quarter. Briles under center. Walker is the one back behind him. 3 receivers to the far side. Play action. Briles setting up, looking to throw over the middle. Has O'Neal. Great catch. End zone touchdown. Oh, O'Neal with a great job of concentration as a linebacker got a hand right up in front of his face. The bullet from Briles to O'Neal extends the lead 13-0.
Boy, you took the words right out of my mouth. You talk about I'll use the word laser. That's more of a 90s term, maybe, but it was a bullet. He fired that one, and notice Boots throwing across his body, running to the left and throwing. Man, that was a great pass and a tremendous catch by Briles and O'Neal.
Petronas gets a set for the snap. Even Nelson getting set for the kick. Snap back, hold down. Kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good. With 1:29 to go in the Bank of America. First quarter, Stephenville 14, Richland nothing. We're back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Are you tired of...
Whether on or off the field, success requires focus, knowledge, and action. At Investment Centers of America, we focus on your goals, offer you our cumulative knowledge of investments, and recommended actions that fit your objectives. We enjoy being your coach, but you're the quarterback. After all, it is your money. Investment Centers of America, Town and Country Bank Building, Stephenville. Investment Centers of America. We know the territory. Deal has been building quality chainsaws since 1926. Bill's Lawnmower Shop has been providing quality power equipment service since 1966. For an experienced team that can provide excellent service and reliable chainsaws, look to Steele and Bill's Lawnmower Shop.
Honey, can you pay these bills? It won't take you very long if you use Texas Bank or online.
Sure.
Girls, I'll be right back.
Texas Banker Online, a simple and secure way to bank over the internet with no service charge. Now you can pay bills quickly and conveniently from the comfort of your own home with Texas Banker Online.
That was quick.
Yeah, that Texas Banker Online is really simple. Whose turn is it anyways?
Texas Banker Online, a product from Texas Bank. Plug in now.
And welcome back. Virgin getting set to kick off for the Jackets. And Johnny, the last scoring drive.
7 plays, 76 yards, only took 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Briles to O'Neal on the 6-yard pass. Point after by Nelson Good, it makes it 14-0. That scoring summary brought to you by Barnes and McCullough.
Well, we were told this place was going to be sold out on the home side, and Johnny, I think they overestimated a little bit.
It's not bad though. I mean, this is a pretty good crowd.
I would estimate
7,500.
I would estimate 5,000 on the seats for home, and probably a good 3,000 Stephenville fans made the way, so about 8,000 here on opening night.
I know there's a number of people back in the Stephenville area listening, as we heard during the Yellow Jacket Huddle, and I want to thank all those folks for tuning in along the way, and as you said earlier, on the World Wide Web.
Carter and Jordan back deep for the Rebels. Pooch kick to the far sideline. This will probably go out of bounds, and it does. So it will be illegal procedure against the Jackets on the kick out of bounds.
Well,
trying to hit the pooch kick on that far side.
Maybe Steve Ross, I know Steve Ross had a great angle on that one, I know, and maybe he can kind of tell us about the visit with Coach Copeland.
Well, Coach Copeland, I have to admit, he apologized to his defense on that long run. He said, I made the wrong call. I was a little over-aggressive there. I'm not going to make a mistake again. Let's just settle down and keep our assignments. And then he reminded his players about the quarterback sneak and said, now, guys, where do you think they got that? And he said, last week, I told you that was going to happen. Made a couple of adjustments on there, talked to his safeties about covering that a little bit differently. And we'll see how the Jackets line up this time.
All righty. Thank you, Steve Ross. Pokeluda again is under center, 2 backs behind him. Split receivers to both sides. Pokeluda handoff on the left side. Miles finds a little seam. Check that. That is Corley, the fullback. He goes forward for about 2 yards. That's it. And Gordon Carroll and Lee in there for the Jackets.
I think also Harrison may be in the game now, or was that Carroll? I thought it was a 60.
Well, Harrison is in there playing some of the 2 technique.
Yeah, that was Harrison, Boots. I'm with you. These numbers are so much easier to see, aren't they?
Even from, we are twice as far from the field as we are at Memorial Stadium, and the block numbers on the white jerseys, just amazing how much easier it is. Pokeluda again under center. I don't think a lot of people really care, though.
Yeah.
I formation behind him. Handoff to the fullback. The first man through it. Corley again. He'll get to the 35, a pickup of about 2.5. It'll set up, it'll set up 3rd down and 5 for the Jackets. Harrison getting some good playing time, the senior, 6'1", 245 defensive tackle, taking the place of Parks and of Howell not playing tonight. And John, with some of the injuries on defense early in the season, boy, the bye is going to come at a great time.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Boots, also I noticed in the game, Jesse Fanning in there over at left corner. What a great game he had last week. And you know, a lot of these guys play in these positions for the first down.
Pitch out to the far sideline is Davis, and Davis is hammered at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, man. Was that Jilson?
Jilson and Gordon Carroll over there, and boy, look at them celebrating.
Oh, man. What a big hit. Jilson just kind of floated over from his middle linebacker position. Did they get flagged?
No, and that's a great way to end the first quarter. Bank of America first quarter comes to an end. Stephenville 14, Richland nothing. We're back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Hi folks, this is Greg Bruner for Bruner Motors, and this is my dad, Dwayne. Bruner Motors has been a mainstay on Stephenville South Loop for over 30 years now because of great pricing, service, and financing. At Bruner's, we carry a huge selection of Chevys, Buicks, Pontiacs, Oldsmobiles, and Cadillacs. We've got financing to fit almost any budget. And when you need servicing, our specially trained technicians can handle it.
That's Bruner Motors, a tradition on the South Loop in Stephenville since 1969.
Accidents happen, and no matter when or where they do, the world's largest claim service network gets on the case immediately. Prompt personal service is no accident. So we can get you back on the road faster than you can say,
like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back. Stephenville Independent School District.
That low voice from the legal ID and Johnny Hollinger.
Well, 14 and counting right now for the Stephenville Yellow Jackets, and at least the stadium looks nice. Here from Richland. And I don't mean to be sarcastic.
Yes, you do.
No, I really don't. I mean, it's just, boy, this defense playing inspired football tonight, I think.
Russ Davis back deep for the Rebels to punt. Snap back to him high, but handled. His kick is away. Wobbly kick that will come at the 25-yard line. Bounce straight up in the air. When we get away from it, it bounces vertically out to the 22-yard line, and that's where Stephenville will start 1st and 10 after the 41-yard kick.
Okay, I do.
11:47 to go here in the second quarter, brought to us by our folks at Cook's Lumber. Cook Lumber bringing us the second quarter, 14-0. Stephenville on top of Richland, starting the third drive of the game for Stephenville.
14-0 Brownwood over Sweetwater out at Sweetwater, and this is a little different team than beat
the last 5 to 6 years.
And down at Goldthwaite in the first period, Comanche nothing, Goldthwaite nothing. So there's a couple of scores for you.
Coming out late onto the field is Cody Avalos for the Jackets. Lines up in a slot on the near side as Briles is in shotgun formation. Hunter standing next to him. Low snap. He picks it up, and then he is tackled all the way back at the 11-yard line. And boy, that's a situation when you're in shotgun and the ball hits you in the ankle. It's going to be tough going from that point on, and certainly it was there as the Jackets will lose about 12 to 13 on the play.
Well, that may be like one of the first negative yardage situations tonight for the Yellow Jackets. They've been moving the ball pretty handily down the field.
It'll set up second down now. Second down now.
Got some nice jams going on there, Boots.
Right in front of us with the band. Trips to, should say, quads to the near side, one receiver far side. Briles the only back in the backfield. He is under center. Straight drop throwing out into the flats. Has Hunter. Hunter gets a good block. Cuts inside 15. Gets out to the 20 to the 21-yard line. Jackets pick up about 8 yards on that play. Maybe 9.
You know, I said this last one. Let me say it again. Boy, Zach Hunter just doesn't he do a great job of letting his blocks develop in front of him?
He really pauses, waits to see where the seam is, and then explodes through them.
And you know, these linemen and these receivers are so well coached as far as getting downfield and blocking, and they just keep doing their work until they see that number 11 just streak by.
3rd and 13 for the Jackets. Briles under center, 2 backs behind him. The tailback on the play going in motion to the far sideline is Matkins. Briles throwing across the middle, has an open gun, caught, 35-40, drops the football. It's up for grabs, and it's going to be at the 48-yard line.
That's an incomplete pass.
Richland will take over the ball at the 48-yard line of Stephenville, and I agree. I don't think Gunn got 2 steps down. Maybe he got 1 and then got hit, but the ball popped loose. It definitely would have been a first down, and I think when you talk to Gunn, he says, I should have held on to it. But nonetheless, the ball after the catch will be ruled a fumble, and Birdville will get the ball, and they will mark it immediately at the 50-yard line, the middle stripe, and that's where Richland will take over here with 10-10 to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14, Richland nothing.
Well, that was a great call by Coach Briles and great execution. As you said, I'm sure Brady will tell you he thinks he should have held on to it. You know, after it's all said and done, though, it ends up being about a 31-yard punt.
It was 3rd and long. Under center is Pokluda, 1 back behind him. Play action, Pokluda setting up, throwing out in the flats, has an open receiver and caught down at the 39-yard line. Tight end making the catch on the play, the man we talked about before the game. That's Mark Malino making the catch, about 11 to 12-yard reception.
Total yards in the first quarter, Stephenville 45 rushing, 55 passing for a total of 100 yards and 5 first downs. Richland 43 rushing, 7 passing for 50. They have 2 first downs.
2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. Pokluda under center, 1 back behind him. Pokluda on the straight ahead keeper, big running room, 30, 25-20. He will score 15-10, 5 touchdown, just like last week against Weatherford. When Moore had lots of running room up the middle, we saw it with Pokluda again, and I believe this is something the Stephenville defensive coaching staff has got to address even more than what Steve Ross talked about earlier. This is definitely a weakness that other teams have seen against this Stephenville defense, and they're taking advantage of it.
Well, that was just, as you say, it's a great call at the right time.
And it may be, John, an audible that when the center and the quarterback recognize a certain defensive front and a different defensive alignment of what they've been seeing, and they see the opening, they just go on contact. Getting set to kick the extra point is Russ Davis. Snap back, hold down, kick on the way. It is up, and it is good. 9:43 to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14, Richland 7 now. Back in 1 minute on KS.
Tanglewood Pharmacy and Tanglewood Medical Supplies are opening their doors to dole out those great products and services that everyone has come to know. Looks like some of their most recent customers have come from surrounding areas. Could this have something to do with the Stephenville Yellow Jackets? No matter where you're from or what you're doing in Stephenville, Tanglewood Pharmacy and Tanglewood Medical Supplies will open their doors to care for you personally.
Are you troubled by strange noises under your car?
Do you experience feelings of dread in your drive shaft?
Have you or any of your family suspected a spook, specter, or ghost in your machine?
If the answer is yes,
then don't wait another minute. Call the professionals. We're ready to believe you. Our courteous and efficient staff will take care of you whether you need new tires, strut, brakes, front end alignment, or just a spark in your spook. Trans Texas Tire. We're ready to believe you.
Right back and scored. You hate that, especially when you're driving. Had a chance to go up by 3 touchdowns. You put the football game. Now I'll get a little bit of rebound.
Russ Davis getting set, gonna kick. High pooch kick will be taken by Phelps. Check that O'Neal at the 20. He'll come forward and get to about the 22-yard line, and that's where the Jackets will begin 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
A good tackle by Jordan there, number 3. Flew down there, and well, that's one thing it'll do. It'll get you right back in the football game emotionally, if nothing else.
Well, and you got to look for the Stephenville offense to try to take matters into their own hands, Johnny. Right now, if they just go ahead, take care of business, march right down the field and score, I think all the momentum that Richland had from that turnover, then touchdown, will just be wiped away. Briles is in shotgun formation. 2 back standing next to him, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side as far as receivers. Inside trap hand off to Hunter, finds a little seam across the 30-yard line, maybe to the 31-yard line. A pickup of about 6 or 7 on the play. It'll set up 3rd down and about 3.
To do what you just said, what do you think, Boots, in your opinion, would be most effective? One of those 15-play grinded out scores, or scoring about 5 plays?
I think this time a score in 5 plays to send the message to Richland, hey, we can score whenever we want.
Yeah, you might be exactly right. Don't even really give you a chance to kind of enjoy your touchdown, then you're right back out there.
2 receivers split to both sides. Wingback look on the left side. Now the tailback, Hunter, goes in motion at the same side. Play action, throwing out the flats to Hunter. Gets the 1st down across the 35, across the 40 to the 41-yard line before he was tackled. A pickup on the play of 10. 1st and 10 Jackets at the Richland 41-yard line. 8:33 to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14, Richland 7. This drive moving nicely.
Notice how deep, the safeties are playing in this defense, Beats. Once again, respecting.
Twins to the near side. 1 receiver to the far side. Briles is in shotgun with Hunter standing next to him. Briles awaiting the snap. It is back to him, running the option to the far side. Now throwing on the run out the flat, has Bashon and knocked away at the last second. A great defensive play made by Anthony Jordan as Josh Bashon was starting to clear on the far sideline. And John, that's a new wrinkle we haven't seen this year. The sprint out option throw, in which it looks like the Jackets are running the option, and then just Briles just sets up and then throws a laser on the far sideline. And if it wasn't for an incredible jump by the cornerback, that's probably 6 points.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was a great play. We can probably go to Ross after this play, but he's had an opportunity to go over and listen in on the defensive huddle. Should have something for him.
2nd down and 10. Briles under center, throwing out the flats. The ball is off the shoulder pads of one of the defenders, and it will set up now 3rd down and 10. And let's go to Steve Ross on the sideline. Stevie?
Well, Boots and John, Coach Copeland that time, he didn't tell his defense a lot. He asked him. He said, I want to know who's going to be man enough to step up and stop that. He said, because they're going to keep doing it to us until we take it away, and I want you guys to pay attention to your assignments, and somebody's going to have to take care of it. So we'll see.
That's a great question.
I think that's pretty cut and dry, right to the point.
Can't make the play for you, boys. You're going to have to do it yourself.
You're going to fish or you're going to cut bait. Briles in shotgun, sends 4 receivers to the far side. Rolling that way is Briles, setting up, is in a little bit of pressure, throwing out the flat. Has O'Neal, first down for the Jackets as he is right at the yardage necessary, but there is a flag down at about the line of scrimmage on the far sideline. Johnny, can you see anything?
Looks like a lineman downfield, or at least that's what they're going to call.
Well, Stephenville was guilty of that a few times last week, and a matter of fact, it blew away one of the touchdowns, and it is illegal receiver downfield against Stephenville. And now that we see that in another game with another set of officials, does that appear to be something else Stephenville will have to work on this week?
Evidently, I think they were guilty of that one. I don't think the officials had anything to do with that one. It looked like we had somebody downfield.
Well, the first down.
And when you're in a white shirt, you know, it just really stands out, doesn't it? You almost have to take the penalty, don't you?
Because if they don't, then it would be a first down for the Jackets.
Oh,
they were right at the yardage needed for the first. So the 5-yard penalty for illegal man downfield will bring the ball all the way back to the 36-yard line, and Stephenville will need 14, almost 15 yards for the first. 7:54 to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14, Richland 7. Briles setting up, looking to throw, has a receiver, caught at the 50, knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. It's Wooten. Wooten making the catch out of the backfield. Josh Wooten, the 6-foot senior, makes a huge catch on the near sideline, and let's hear some praise for the poise of Briles to sit in the pocket and let things develop downfield.
What a great call by Art Briles, too. Man, I mean, you talk about nobody covered Wooten. He was just forgotten about. That was
flare pattern to the near sideline. Briles is in shotgun formation. 2 receivers far side, wing back on that side. Now Hunter comes in motion to the near side. Hunter setting up, should say Briles. Now he'll escape inside the 45 down to the 42-yard line. Briles saw a little seam in front of him. He said, I see 5 yards, I'll take 5 yards.
Yeah, exactly right. And that was probably the right read that time by Kendal Briles. Notice the difference in Kendal this week. He looks so much more relaxed and sitting back in that pocket, as you mentioned just a moment ago on that pass to Wooten. He just stood there and waited for his man to clear, threw the ball right on the money.
Douglas splits to the near side. O'Neal splits to the far side. 2 backs behind Briles. Hunter is the tailback. The fullback is Matkins. Now Matkins comes in motion to the near side. Briles play action now will give the ball to Hunter. Great runner inside the 40, inside the 45. Nice move. Throw it down to the 28-yard line. Goes Zach Hunter. Another first down for the Jackets. And it's so hard to get a clean hit on Zach Hunter after that 13-yard run. His feet are moving so fast at all times.
He's just so quick as far as dodging guys that are flying at him. Ends up being a 13-yard gain. By the way, Kendal Briles now 9 of 12 for 115 yards and the 1 touchdown.
Nice performance again for the junior quarterback early in this game. 1st and 10 for the Jackets at the Richland 29-yard line. And you were talking about more of a ball control drive than we were talking about the quick strike. Now there's a little bit of confusion going on.
Drying the ball off of something. I believe he got a towel over on the sideline. Here's the score for you. Sweetwater's on the board now. Brownwood 14, Sweetwater 7. That's in the second quarter. And a second quarter score. The Granbury Pirates on top of the Arlington Heights Yellow Jackets 7-0.
Is this a timeout on the field?
Yeah, it was officials over. Oh, he's got. Is that a helmet problem? Let's see. I'll get these Bank of America binoculars out and see what I can come up with.
What are they doing?
Contacts?
Working on the sideline on something.
There's an official down here working with the ball boy.
With one of the trainers. Well, let's take a 30-second timeout. We'll try to catch up on one of the spots. We're back in 30 seconds. Stephenville leading 14-7 on KSTV.
I want to remind the fans that
Stephenville Auto Sales. You make an effort, we'll make the difference. Walk in, drive out.
Your friends at Brooks Real Estate want to kick off a winning season by teaming up with the real estate professionals at Brooks Real Estate, the strategy that sells. Call Brooks at 965-5051.
Official on the sideline had a contact problem.
Oh, that's his problem.
Contact.
Come Comanche on the board now in their game. Comanche 7, Goldthwaite 2nd. That's game still in the first quarter.
Goldthwaite score is what again?
Oh, 0, excuse me, 7-0. Comanche on top.
Comanche on top of Goldthwaite 7-0 right now?
About that, eh?
Hey, go Indians.
That's right, our neighbors to the west of us.
You can listen to that game on the sister station, The Ox, 94.3. Johnny, check out the car in the west parking lot by the band over there, warming up. It's an old Impala looking back with a lot of
Looks
different
like some
colors
of my
all
buddies
over.
from the 60s, to be perfectly honest with you.
Briles in shotgun, throwing out the flats. Ball is underthrown to Gunn. Gunn was coming out of the wingback position, and that was just underthrown by Briles. It looks like Gunn would have had an easy 5 yards. Instead, it'll set up 2nd down and 10 with the incomplete.
I think those guys just got back from a Grateful Dead concert.
That or maybe the second Woodstock that was here a couple weeks ago.
No, I don't believe anybody like drive that would gone to the Woodstock 99, unless they were lost. They were still in the 60s.
We'll have to let Ross at halftime give some color commentary on that car.
Well, it is a colorful car.
Briles again is under center. 1 receiver far side, 1 to the near side. Now Matkins goes in motion to that side as well. Draw goes to Hunter. Hunter finds a nice seam inside the 25 to the 22-yard line. A pickup of about 8 on the play. It'll set up now 3rd down and 2 at the Richland 22-yard line. Stephenville 14, Richland 7 with 6:10 and counting in the Cook Lumber second quarter.
Well, to tell you how that hole developed, Boots, is pretty easy. It was a block by Doty.
Big man up front.
Both of them.
There you go. Doty and Doty combination. I hear what you're saying.
It was a great trap block, and they just just peeled open, parted the waters for Hunter to go through.
3rd down and 2 for the Jackets at the Richland 22. Briles handing off over the right side. Walker finds the 1st down yardage inside and more down to about the 17. A pickup of about 5 on the play. And it looks like, Johnny, that the early personality of this team says that when a tough 2 or 3 yards is needed in big traffic, that they go to number 21 for the Jackets, and that's David Walker, the junior running back.
Had a great game last week, and coming right back tonight, and I think you're exactly right. It looks like early here in the season what the personality of this football team is going to be.
2 receivers to the near side. They are Douglas as well as Avalos. Tight end look on the far side is Tate. Briles under center now sends the fullback Matkins in motion to the near side. 1 back behind Briles, that is Hunter. Briles throwing out the flats, has an open bash shots over his head. Check that Matkins had 2 blockers in front of him, Douglas and Avalos, and there was only 2 defensive backs over there as well, Johnny.
Yeah.
And if the catch is able to be completed, the connection, if it was made there, both those receivers had their blocks and the 2 defensive backs. Bashaw probably scores.
Yeah, and
Matkins.
That was a hot pass too. That ball got over there in a hurry, and Matkins just unable to hold the get the handle on it.
Briles got a little steam on the football tonight, as we have seen already. He is under center, 2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. The 1 back comes in motion. Now it's the inside trap to Hunter. Hunter tries to find the little seam. He cannot, as that time Richland had some nice penetration up the middle, and anytime you're trying to run the trap from the wingback position, penetration is going to ruin the play. It now sets up 3rd down for Stephenville, and they need about 12. They've got to get to inside the 8-yard line of Richland.
Well, you'd certainly want to score with 7 points here, or at least 3. But, boy, they have taken a lot of time off the clock on this drive, Boots, and run a lot of plays, too. That defense got to be getting a little bit tired.
Briles is in shotgun. 1 back standing next to him. Running the option is Briles. He will look to pitch and does. 200 inside the 20 and gets hammered at the 18. Oh, was that one to make his head pop back, but Hunter jumps right up. A no gain on the play, and the Jackets set up now 4th down, and 12 needed, or actually 10 needed probably, and maybe that's a little bit of the personality of this team, Johnny, is that it's 3rd down and 12. You need 12 to get to the 8-yard line for a first, and Stephenville elects to try to run the football.
Yeah, I think probably, and you know, Coach Briles could tell us better. It looked like a pass might have been the first option, but there was nothing there. So if not, run the option to your tailing back. Looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Jackets 4th and 12 at the Richland 18 will go for it. 2 receivers to the far side, 2 to the near side. Tight end look as Briles setting up, looking to throw. Has an open receiver over the head of O'Neal, who was open at the 3. And Briles simply put too much air under that one as he had O'Neal clearing at the 5-yard line. And if we've seen a fault with Briles throwing the ball tonight, Johnny, it's that he's had just a little bit too much heat on it. And we found out we have just been cut off for one moment. That last play over the head of O'Neal, Briles had him open at the 5. Put a little too much steam on that when he did.
I think Kendal may be just a little jacked up tonight, as everybody is in the stadium.
So the fourth down is no good. Ball turns over on downs to Richland. They'll take over at their own 19-yard line.
Well, here's a big defensive stand for this football team early. Richland scores here, this game could be tied.
Well, I think it would be if they scored here. A touchdown anyway. Handoff up the middle goes nowhere.
Well, that may be one of those trying to set up something outside, clogging up the middle like that. There was nothing there. Nobody got moved on that play on the defensive line, Boots.
Did you hear how I was being a smart rear to you?
Yeah,
right
I did.
there?
I did.
Right.
You notice how I disregarded?
Yes, I did notice. 2nd down and 9. From they almost got to the 20-yard line, did the Rebels. 4:01 and counting here in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14, Richland 7. Pokluda is under center again, 2 backs behind him. Split receivers to both sides. Tight end look as well on the near side. Pitch to the near side coming is Miles. Kick it is not Miles. Going up to the 23-yard line is Andy Davis. Davis will take the handoff forward for about 3 yards. It'll set up 3rd down and about 6 to 7 needed for the Rebels. And with 3:33 and counting here to go in the second quarter, Johnny, Stephenville only up by 7. Surprisingly enough, Richland takes a timeout. We'll take one with them. We're back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Nip in the air, changing leaves, it only mean one thing.
It's football season!
I'm Roger Easter, your local Lennox dealer, and it's also home heating season.
I have the dish, the big screen, the recliner.
He also has a reliable, high-efficiency Lennox heat pump.
Yep, this season this is the best seat in the house, baby.
Thanks to Easter Air, it's also the warmest.
Lennox, one less thing to worry about.
Offering Stephenville's largest selection of colors and styles, Danny's House of Carpet covers all of your flooring needs. Besides our wide selection, our friendly, knowledgeable staff can help you with anything from carpet and ceramic tile flooring to custom drapes, bedspreads, and professional installation. Serving the Stephenville area for 26 years and counting, come by Danny's House of Carpets at 1670 South Loop for all of your decorating needs.
2 receivers far side. Pokluda is under center. 2 backs behind him split. Pokluda straight drop. The left-hander looking to throw. Still looking in some trouble. Throw it across the middle. And he tried to throw to a receiver on the play. Incomplete. Malino, who had 4 white jerseys around him.
I believe that was Richard Silva who was the first guy there that time. He had dropped back. He was on the line and then had dropped back into coverage. And that was a play that wasn't ever there, but they were determined that was the one they were going to throw, Boots.
Understand we have a listener from Alto, New Mexico this evening. The Godfather listening in.
Alto?
Alto, New Mexico.
Stop, New Mexico?
Could be it, or Alto. I think that's tall in Spanish.
Oh, stop. You're a Spanish-speaking guy. What are you talking about?
Alto. Well, who knows? Hello to him. Punt almost blocked by the Jackets. The punt does get away, goes straight up in the air, and then takes a backwards bounce. Good for Stephenville. And the Rebels get on the ball at about the 42-yard line. A flag is down, and are we going to have a...
It should just be 5 yards of running into the kicker.
Did you see what happened after the play, Johnny?
Oh, it's a personal foul.
You know why I don't think that's right? It's because Russ Davis, the punter, went over to, after the play, Clayton Harmon, who led up on the play, who was the one got in the block, and patted him on the rear saying, thanks, you didn't just destroy me back there.
That's a bad call.
But they're going to get the 15-yarder, and this one will be enough for the first down.
We have a personal foul.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker is the call against Stephenville. And
the reason being, he just fell on the ground in front of him, and the punter just really fell over him. And I don't know, anytime you roll into their legs, though, I guess they're going to call 15 yards. But looked to me like he just kind of ran into him.
Boy, for a game with only 3 minutes remaining in the first half, there's been several breaks going against Stephenville, in which this game could have already been over, but it still remains close because of some of the bad breaks. Handoff over the left side, tripped in the backfield by himself.
The turf.
Anthony Jordan, loss of 2 on the play after the handoff. It'll set up 2nd down and 13. Under 3 minutes to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14, Richland 7.
That's that new turf that jumped up and got you right there.
I believe if I was still playing, that would happen quite often.
Oh, really?
Somewhere my mother's giggling right now. Second down and 12 for the Rebels at their own 37-yard line.
Because it did happen?
A lot. She saw it in her own living room growing up. Pokluda again under center. Motion to the far side. One back behind him. Draw play and then hammered all the way back at the 30-yard line. Big Clayton Harmon crashing through the line. Tackling on the play, Anthony Jordan, who took the draw handoff and then was cratered back at the 35. Stephenville calls timeout, trying to preserve clock. Will take timeout with them. Back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Hi folks, this is Greg Bruner for Bruner Motors, and we're gearing up for another year of Stephenville sports. There's no better way to get to this year's games than in a new car or truck from Bruner Motors. Now's a good time to check out our prices on new Chevy half-ton pickups or Pontiac Sunfires. And we've got financing to fit almost any budget. So drop by this week at Bruner's on the South Loop. And don't forget to support the Stephenville Yellow Jackets as they go for their 4th state championship.
At Jake and Dorothy's Cafe, we're serving our 3rd generation. The year was 1948. The same year LP records were introduced. Harry S. Truman was elected president, and Humphrey Bogart was packing them in with Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Jake and Dorothy Roach began offering high-quality food, prompt friendly service, and fair prices. This almost overnight success continues today under the direction of their daughter, Carrie Roach, who's proud to continue Jake and Dorothy's commitment to providing the best food, service, and price in the area. At Jake and Dorothy's, a little bit of history comes with every meal.
And welcome back after the timeout. Richland will now have 3rd down and about 15 needed. And Johnny, could there be a smaller down marker?
I know.
Have you seen this year?
I know. I can't even hardly see this thing.
The down marker, the number saying what down it is smaller than a helmet. We're probably 300 yards away. And now flags come down, and there were still 8 seconds left on the play clock.
Illegal substitution.
Boy, that's tough coming out of a timeout. How does that happen?
Well, there's only one group of people you can blame for that. And tonight they're in red shirts on the sideline.
Would you be saying coaching staff
Yeah,
from Richland?
Yeah, you got to have your personnel out there coming out of a timeout.
So that marks the ball back after the penalty to the 30-yard line. So now it is, once again, 3rd down, and let's call it 19 now needed. Under center is Pokluda, 2 backs behind him. He sends Carter in motion to the far side. Rolling that way is Pokluda, looking to throw. He's in some trouble. Now he'll escape. 20, looking to throw, and he's hammered at the 25, but lets it go over the head of everyone. And Mr. Pokluda, welcome to Mr. Silva.
Man, he could have really got hammered. Credit Silva for pulling up a little bit. But yeah, he's screaming at his receiver right now. And
Come back to me, yeah.
Yeah, you got to come back and help out. Here's the second quarter score. Coleman on top of Wall, 14 zip.
So it's 4th and 19 for the Rebels. Back to kick again for Richland is Russ Davis. Briles and Felt standing at their own 31-yard line awaiting the kick.
Kicking off are the Rebs.
Waiting for the snap. Snap is back to Davis. His kick is away. Better kick, high spiraling kick that will chase Briles back to his 29-yard line. He will look for a seam and find one. 35, he'll get to the outside. Now try to get to the near sideline, going backwards, and will be tackled back to the 36-yard line. Briles lost about 5 to 6 yards after the 40-yard kick, trying to make something happen. 7 yards on the return, and it'll set up 1st and 10 for the Jackets at their own 37-yard line.
I think Kendal thought he might have just been able to get outside, good outside containment by the special teams of Richland that time. It looked like he might have had an opportunity out here, and he gave up those 3 yards, as you mentioned, but to no avail.
1:54 to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14, Richland 7. Briles in shotgun, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. Snap back, inside trap handoff to Hunter. Hunter finding the inside slot, a little bit of room to the 41-yard line. A pick up about 4 on the play. And it sets up now 2nd down and 6, 1:42 and counting. Stephenville, I'm guessing, with 2 timeouts remaining.
Yes, I believe that's right, according to the fancy scoreboard.
Boy, and it is fancy with the...
And Justin Mason.
Zach now 8 carries, 37 yards rushing.
With the instant replay up there. Briles under center, 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Hunter lines up now as a wingback on the right side, one back. Trap handoff again to Hunter, will go forward for 1 yard. And boy, Art Briles deciding to be very conservative here at the end of the first half.
Well, I think he's just trying to, possibility of thinking, well, they think we're going to try to air it out right quick. We might break one. Now you let the clock run down a little bit. If you get a first down here, the clock will stop, and then you can set up something long.
57 seconds and counting. Briles in shotgun, trips to the near side, twins to the far side. Briles has audibleized the play into Briles, and now he gives the hand signal at the line. Snap back to Briles, and now he'll run, trying to find something to go. He'll get to the 43-yard line, a gain of 1 on the play, and Stephenville, with less than 2 minutes and counting in the half, ran 3 consecutive running plays, and it'll set up 4th down. And with 30 seconds left, we'll see, will Richland call a timeout?
Well, I think they were just trying to they don't have to run another play. I think they were just trying to run the clock out there, Boots.
May very well have been the case, trying to run the clock off, and if they can bust one big one, then try. Briles trots out on the field, 12 seconds, 11 seconds and counting. I don't even know if they can get this one off. 2 receivers far side,
do it
one
on
to the near
4th down
side.
when there's no time left.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, Briles 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1, and he will not get the play away. That's the end of the Cook Lumber second quarter and the half. Stephenville 14, Rebels of Richland 7. We're back.
Stephenville Auto Sales. You make an effort, we'll make the difference. Walk in, drive out.
Like that. What were you thinking? You weren't thinking, were you? I don't think so. You think you're different? You think you're special? No, I don't. Get that camera out of here. Did we go over this? We did. You want to coach this team? I didn't know it was the last one. He's so sensitive. These are mine too.
Supporting the Jackets for over 30 years. Bill Tomlinson, class of 67. David Tomlinson, class of 71. The Stephenville Funeral Home, your family's friend in time of need in Stephenville.
Years before America's electric cooperatives forged the nationwide alliance, Touchstone Energy, neighbors built their own electric utility to power lives and communities. Now Touchstone Energy cooperatives serve millions of homes and businesses. Customers large and small get state-of-the-art technology and affordable service. From the one-room schoolhouse to the communities and businesses of tomorrow, trust Touchstone Energy, the power of human connections. Brought to you by your local Touchstone Energy partner.
Whether on or off the field, success requires focus, knowledge, and action. At Investment Centers of America, we focus on your goals, offer you our cumulative knowledge of investments and recommended actions that fit your objectives. We enjoy being your coach, but you're the quarterback. After all, it is your money. Investment Centers of America, Town and Country Bank Building, Stephenville. Investment Centers of America. We know the territory.
Tanglewood Pharmacy and Tanglewood Medical Supplies are opening their doors to dole out those great products and services that everyone has come to know. Looks like some of their most recent customers have come from surrounding areas. Could this have something to do with the Stephenville Yellow Jackets? No matter where you're from or what you are doing in Stephenville, Tanglewood Pharmacy and Tanglewood Medical Supplies will open their doors to care for you personally.
Johnny moved to the country this week, folks. He's got him a bigger truck, went to the country.
Well, you know, you got to do that when you're in Stephenville.
Russ Davis getting set to kick off for the Rebels. Back deep, the Jackets getting ready with a starburst. Pooch kick to the middle of the field will be taken by O'Neill again, I believe, out to the 27. He'll come to the sideline and go out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So it looks like the Rebels have no interest in kicking the ball deep to the starburst, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, and that's not a bad return by O'Neill. Looks like they're going to mark him, what, 31, maybe 32-yard line. And that's about 11-yard return. you can take that by one of your up guys.
14-7, Stephenville on top, starting the third quarter here at the Birdville Independent School District Fine Arts and Athletic Complex. I'll be saying that in my sleep this evening.
Yeah, and I won't.
O'Neill to the near side. Split to the far side is Matkins. Briles is under center, 2 backs behind him. Haney is the fullback, now the tailback, Hunter, who is here in motion out the flats. Throwing out to Hunter, finds a seam, 35, gets outside, 40, keeps his feet, 45 across midfield, 50 to the 48-yard line of Richland, and there's the Jacket offense we've come to know and love. 20 yards on the completion.
Great block by T.J. Douglas out there. That sprung him around the corner, and I like that about T.J. I'll give him 21. They're going to mark it all the way down to the 48-yard line of Richland. And Boots, T.J. knocks his guy down and then runs downfield to see if there's somebody else that he can
Let me get
in the way of. And boy, you gotta love that by your receivers.
Briles again under center. Ball spotted at the 48-yard line of Richland. Now coming in motion is Gunn to the near side, throwing out to Gunn, and Gunn drops the football. Boy, that's 2 drops for Gunn in this ball game, and you know that's got to be something eating at him a little bit right now for that to happen.
Yeah, it looked like Brady might have just looked upfield just a half second early there before he gathered that ball in. You remember back when Charlie Ward was at Florida State University, they called it the
fast break offense?
Yeah, fast break run and gun offense. That's kind of what this is. This offense always reminds me of, especially when they're in this mode right here.
2nd down and 10 for the Jackets. Briles again under center, 1 back behind him. Pitching to the near side is Hunter. Hunter looking for the sideline. Will try to cut up. He will make 1 man miss, get back to the line of scrimmage, and will go forward for maybe 1 yard. It'll set up 3rd down and 9. And simply, John, a situation there with the Jackets ran the quick pitch to the side that it looked like Richland was stunning to, and not enough blockers for enough defenders out there.
Yeah, Zach never really had a chance, and boy, you got to credit him. He did all of that on his own. And now big 3rd down here early in the 3rd quarter.
3rd down, and officially we'll call it 8. Maybe 2 yards gain on that last play. Briles under center, 1 split to the far side. Check that, 2 split to the far side. Wing back on that side as well. Throwing the quick hitter, caught, and a 1st down and more. Inside the 35, inside the 30. Matkins, 25, 20, keeps his feet to the 18 to the 17-yard line. Jeremy Matkins did a great job to make a couple defenders miss him, and then extended it out with some tough running between the 17 and 18-yard line. 30 yards on the pickup from Briles to Matkins.
And about 25 of that came after the first missed tackle.
Ball is spotted actually at the 18-yard line, the official spot. Three receivers to the near side. Inside trap handoff to Hunter. Hunter will get to the 15-yard line. A pickup of about 3.5 on the play. Sets up 2nd down.
Zach now 42 yards on 11 carries, and well, that was just a great read there by the defense of staying home. They had, I guess that was quads over here to the near side, Boots, and looked to me like they were going to try to find something out here in the slot. And well, you can credit that defensive line for staying home.
Inside 10 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Briles under center, Stephenville 14, Richland 7. Handoff over the right side, going straight ahead is Walker. Walker gets to about the 11 or 12-yard line, almost getting the ball stripped from him a little bit. Looked like Richland trying to knock the ball away from him. He holds on to it after about a 3 to 4 yard pickup. It will set up now 3rd down. Ooh, and we'll call it a long 3 needed for the Jackets.
Well, do you throw here, Boots, or do you try to see how many, because you're in 4-down territory if you're running the ball here, aren't you? I mean, maybe try to get the 1st down on the ground. If not, then go for it on 4th down.
Derek Haney, big fullback in the game right now. He'll line up in the eye behind Briles with Hunter at the tail. The tailback Hunter now goes in motion. Briles under center, giving the ball and then losing it, and then back at the 15-yard line. Great penetration over the left side as Haney was running. Took the handoff from Briles and then was immediately hit behind the line of scrimmage, Johnny.
Yeah,
Too much penetration.
Yeah, Derek never had a chance. The left side of the offensive line was just pushed around that time by that defensive front. And I guess it looks like we're going to try to field goal from 30, huh?
Eben Nelson, I watched in the pregame, kicked some from 47 yards, hitting the same direction with the wind. This spot from Petronas right on the 20-yard line, a 30-yard attempt, snap back, hold down, kick on the way, it's blocked, flags are down everywhere, and the ball will go out of bounds. Something we saw last week, a lot of penetration up the middle. We saw it again on a field goal attempt. Let's wait and see.
The referee threw this one.
This may be illegal motion against Stephenville. If this was good, it probably would have been wiped off anyway. Looking at the officials, still talking with the Richland players. And John, whether you want to call it conservativeness or not, I'm going to say that I think the Jackets look just a little bit out of sync right now.
Yeah, legal procedure, and is, of course, refused. Yeah, I don't think that was all that conservative there. I think that was the right call. You know, 4th down and, what, about 6 yards for first down, 5?
Sure, and just not being able to convert on the field goal, not being able to convert on the 3rd down and 2. Just some things that this offense, as young and green as it is going to take some time in this season to have to work out.
Well, they went 49 yards on that drive and took about 3.5 minutes off the clock, but they didn't score.
Poklewda up the middle, and the quarterback sneak gets 3.5 to 4 on the play, and I believe that's a play that we will see a lot of teams early on this year run until they see a Stephenville defense that can stop it.
I think you pretty much just did right there.
Be a 2nd down and about 6 for the Rebels. We'll go to Steve Ross after this play to see what the coaching staff might be talking about on the sideline after that last drive. 8:23 and counting in the Texas Bank 3rd quarter. Stephenville 14, Richland 7. Poklewda under center, one back behind him. Hand up the middle, goes for about 3 to 4 yards. The running back, Andy Davis, taking the carry. Davis will go forward to about the 30. Does he quite get to the 30-yard line? Not quite. Injured player on the field for Richland. We'll take a timeout with him. 14-7, Stephenville on top. We're back in 1 minute.
At Jake and Dorothy's Cafe, we're serving our 3rd generation. The year was 1948. The same year LP records were introduced. Harry S. Truman was elected president, and Humphrey Bogart was packing them in with Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Jake and Dorothy Roach began offering high-quality food, prompt-friendly service, and fair prices. This almost overnight success continues today under the direction of their daughter, Carrie Roach, who's proud to continue Jake and Dorothy's commitment to providing the best food, service, and price in the area. At Jake and Dorothy's, a little bit of history comes with every meal.
Chihuahua's on West Washington is the best-kept secret in town. The chicken taco salad is a crispy jumbo tortilla filled to the brim with grilled chicken, fresh lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, sour cream, and guacamole. Or try the chicken nachos, cubes of golden grilled chicken topped with Monterey and cheddar cheese and guacamole and sour cream. The double meat double cheeseburger is killer. Complete a meal with cheese fries or the colossal onion rings. And remember, half-price drinks are served from 2 to 5 with our great shaved ice. Chihuahua is real food, real fresh, real good.
Deal has been building quality chainsaws since 1926. Bill's Lawnmower Shop has been providing quality power equipment service since 1966. For an experienced team that can provide excellent service and reliable chainsaws, look to Steele and Bill's Lawnmower Shop.
3rd down and 2 for the Rebels. Ball at their own 28-yard line. Poklewda under center, 2 backs behind him in the eye. Split receivers both ways. Running the option to the far side, Poklewda will power his way and will get enough for the 1st down. He was stopped momentarily behind the line of scrimmage, surged forward enough outside the 30 to pick up the 1st down. We'll go to Steve Ross on the sideline. And Steve, early on, things maybe not quite as successful as a lot of Stephenville fans would hope for. The mood on the sideline.
Well, you know, it's always tougher to hear the offensive coaches because Coach Briles does so much of his work out on the field, but I don't think there's any panic yet, Boots and John. They're just a couple of plays away, and we've grown so used to this offense operating just almost flawlessly, and you know, your 3rd down conversion or a drop ball or 2 away from this being a completely different ball game. I know the defense has played well. The offense is going to rally around that. We'll see what happens here.
1st and 10, Poklewda play action, setting up, looking to throw in some trouble, being flushed by Scott Lee. Now he'll run. Good running room, cross 35, 40, finds the sideline, 50, 45, loses his feet, flags down, knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line, and a clip at about the 47-yard line is where the flag will come down back in Richland territory. And
how about one back at about the 30 as well? Shove in the back, that one's going to knock off a big play. Probably still, no, they'll be just short of the 1st down.
You know, and what's discouraging for Richland on that play, John, is that block didn't have to take place.
Yeah, it was about 6 yards behind the play, wasn't it?
Well, it was a situation where Poklewda rolled to the near side. Scott Lee flushed him that way. He cut back in the middle, and there was no back support coming from the back side. And when he did that, he flushed his way to the far sideline away from us on the Stephenville sideline. And if he hadn't tripped over the 50-yard line by himself, no telling, but the flag will bring things back.
That's going to make it about a 1st down and 2, I guess, so he gets about 8 yards on that carry after it's all said and done. It would have been about 25.
So it'll set up 1st down, and you said it, and about 2 yards to go. Ball at the 37.5, 38-yard line. Pocluda once again under center. Split backs. Hand off to the second man through to the 39-yard line and stood up. He does not get the 1st down. It's 2nd down and 1. And John, as you noticed before the game, we were told that the leading rusher for this team, Brandon Miles, the go-to back, he has not been playing in this ball game and getting most of the playing time in the tailback position. Number 7, Andy Davis, wasn't even listed on the scouting report.
Well, and there's got to, they had moved, as you mentioned just then, Corley to fullback. He's playing most of the fullback, but Brandon Miles came out early, and I don't know if maybe he got hurt or something, but you're exactly right.
Pocluda under center, pitch to the near side. Picks again to Corley, and Corley is nailed by Harmon.
Excuse me.
He's able to escape from that hit and go forward enough for the 1st down, but you're right. Welcome to Mr. Harmon's world.
Oh, he never saw Harmon coming. And you know how when a boxer just gets hit with a haymaker or something, then he's out on his feet. That's what he looked like, as he was just looking for some place to lay down. Unfortunately, it was across the 1st down marker.
Well, and it's a situation, too, where if Clayton had been able to wrap up after the enormous hit, may not have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. He does squirt forward for about a yard, and that's all he needed for the 1st.
He'll think about cutting back again, though, that's for sure.
1st and 10 for the Rebels, straight drop. Pump fake, looking to throw is Pocluda, throwing the ball deep. It's up, and it's picked off and then dropped by Gunn. Boy, this has been a tough night for Brady Gunn, holding on to the football. And
look at him, he's mad at himself.
Boy, he is clutching the ground and slapping his hands together. That's another situation where, boy, let's go get some old Oakland Raiders snick 'em.
Yeah, you know, he's thinking to himself, I'll never get, here's the replay, you'll never get an easier chance than this to intercept a ball, and he's just, boy, he's mad at himself.
So it sets up 2nd down and 10 after the here are not counting, but the clock stopped in the Texas Bank 3rd quarter. Realize, John, as soon as they snap the ball and the clock starts rolling, how little time there's left in the 3rd quarter, and Stephenville's only had the ball for 1 drive here in the 3rd quarter.
Albeit a long one, but you're exactly right.
Pocluda, hand up over the right side, in a lot of trouble and brought down for a huge loss. Crashing through was Cal Gilson from his middle linebacker position.
They don't kill each other getting off the pile.
Little celebration from Stephenville. Forward progress is marked at actually the 39, so a loss of 2 on the play sets up 3rd down and 12. And John, you're right in thinking what you said earlier, what Steve Ross did say. I think this is a game where Stephenville is going to have to rely around the defense.
Why isn't the clock running? Oh, now they started again. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's exactly what you're seeing right now.
It's 3rd down and 12, maybe 13 for the Rebels at their own 40. Stephenville 14, Richland 7. Pocluda in some trouble trying to set up the screen. It's almost picked off. What a great defensive play by Jesse Fanning. Reading the screen on the far sideline, diving and knocking the ball away from the intended receiver on the screen. Sets up 4th down.
Boy, you're exactly right on that call, Boots. Great read by Fanning. As they tried to do that misdirection thing, Pocluda came out looking to his left when the play was designed for the screen to the right, and Fanning just made the great read, stepped in front of the receiver, knocked the ball down, almost had a chance. If he catches that, he waltzes to the end zone.
And a matter of fact,
I'm not sure.
Matter of fact, if the ball's more online, he probably does make the interception. Snap back for the punt is coming to Davis,
who's had a good night kicking, by the way.
To him, the kick is away. Spiraling wobbly kick will hit at the 30, bounce forward for Richland inside the 25, and then roll out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So with 4:57 to go here in the Texas Bank 3rd quarter, Stephenville will take over at their own 23-yard line, leading 14-7. And
well, after all said and done, let's see. They started the drive at the 31 to start the 2nd quarter, so they end up losing 8 yards on that, and about 5 minutes off the clock. 4.
Douglas is split to the far sideline. Split to the near sideline is Bashaw. Walker and Hunter in the backfield. Briles is under center.
It may be grinded out time.
Handoff over the left side. Walker finding some run room. Check that. It's Briles on the option on the keeper around the sideline, 30 to the 34-yard line, and just lowered his head and ran over the defensive back to pick up the first down.
Now, Kendal, you're running with the ball. You don't have to block here. He's just like, okay, that's all I'm getting. I'm going to take somebody with me.
Boy, talk about just lowering your head.
Boy, I mean, running right into the the tackler. Good gain there by Briles.
So it's 1st and 10, Stephenville at the 35-yard line, 34-yard line of their own. Stephenville 14, Richland 7 here in the third quarter. Briles under center, 2 receivers near side, 1 receiver to the far side. Hunter is the tailback behind Briles. Play action now, throwing out in the flats, has Bashaw. Good downfield block, across 40, 45, 50. It's a foot race, 40, great move, 30, then knocked out of bounds at the 28-yard line. There was a defensive back deep on the play, did not see if he had a good angle on Bashaw. A wonderful downfield block by the offensive lineman, Stephenville. Jay Doty clearing the way for the 40-yard reception. The down the line of scrimmage pass to Bashaw, and he looked up, and out in front of him about 15 yards was Jay Doty just clearing the way.
Man, what a great block. You're exactly right, and that was all he needed. And a good play by the safety to save the touchdown.
Briles under center at the 28-yard line. Handoff to the first man through is Walker. Walker powers his way till about the 22-yard line. A pickup of 5 on the play, and he is the designated between the tackles runner, I think, Johnny.
I think you're exactly right. And Boots, this is one Stephenville has to put in the end zone right here, this drive.
Stephenville has had a couple opportunities, has gotten inside of Rebel territory, inside the red zone, if you will, twice, and come away with no points on the last 2 drives.
Well, you know the old sports cliche about playing between the 20s. Now they got to get past the 20.
Briles under center, 2 backs behind him. Now one of those splits into a wingback position. Play action rolling near side. Briles in some trouble. He'll try to come to the sideline. He'll throw into the end zone. Short. Is it caught? No. Oh, look at Kendal Briles back at the 25-yard line. Just goes to the ground and slaps the ground as he had O'Neal wide open in the back of the end zone and just one-hopped it to him.
Man, I would like to have seen the Richland coaches on that one. Matkins was wide open at about the 8-yard line. O'Neal was wide open behind the secondary in the end zone. Nobody, I mean, those 2 guys just got lost in that defense.
It looked like the Rebels had sold out on the run that time. Beautiful play action by Briles setting up all of that. Only 1 second remaining on the play, 10 seconds on the play clock as Briles gets the play audibleized in. 5 seconds he'll need to hustle. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, snap back to him. Handoff up the middle to Hunter. Hunter will get to the 20-yard line, and that will be it as they get 2 yards on the 3rd down. And it'll set up now 4th down and about 3 needed.
Well, I think that was a good call there because I'm sure they thought they were going to pass the ball. And I don't think they kick here, Boots. I think after that last situation, at the same, almost, well, of course, it had been a 37-yard field goal from here. I think they've got to go for it here.
3rd consecutive drive to get to the red zone. Last 2 do not come away with points. We'll see what happens this time. Briles in shotgun, rolling to the near side, throwing in the flats over the head of the intended receiver. The ball will go over on downs. O'Neal was the intended receiver. It went over his head. And so for the 3rd consecutive time, Stephenville comes away with no points, and Richland takes over at the 19-yard line.
I think when Kendal Briles watches this series on film, he's gonna learn some things about his offense. And TJ looked like he was streaking down the seam there wide open at about the 12, 13-yard line. And but O'Neal was the guy he wanted to go to here on that play. But I think TJ might even have been even wider open.
Wider open.
More wide open. More open.
Huger?
Yeah, no, I can't go that far.
That's my bad. 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Stephenville leading 14-7 with 3:01 to go in the Texas Bank 3rd quarter. Pitch on the far side once again going to Davis.
Ooh.
He is hammered over it around the 20-yard line as he went out of bounds. Andy Davis is. It'll be no gain on the play. 2nd down coming up.
Great play by your middle linebacker, Cal Gilson, who just flew to the ball again as he's been doing here in the 2nd half and made the big tackle.
Actually, a gain of 1 is credited on the play. He'll get just outside the 20-yard line. And, John, it's a situation, again, where I think you rely on your defense to keep you in a situation to keep putting Richland down. If you hold them 3 and out again, you'll get the ball in Richland territory.
Yeah, you're going to have great field position here.
Pocaluta under center, 2 backs again behind him. Split receivers both sides. Now motion to the near side is Carter. Handoff to the first man through. That's the fullback. Corley goes forward for about a yard, maybe 2. It'll set up 3rd down and 7. And
talk about conservative.
Boy, John, you get the idea that Richland coaching staff is very happy to look up at the scoreboard with 2 minutes of counting the 3rd quarter and go, hey, look, we're trailing by only 7 to Stephenville.
Yeah, but you're still losing when you're down 7. It doesn't matter what the score is when the game's over, that's for sure.
3rd down and 7 for Richland.
This is a good football game.
Andy Davis is the tailback. Again, Pokluda under center. 2 backs this time split as twins to the near side. Pokluda rolling out. The left-hander looks to throw. He's going to run now. He's in some trouble, and he'll be brought down at the 25-yard line. A gain of 2 on the play. Nice job by Monk and Lee peeling off, as well as Gilson and Gunn coming up to make the stop.
Boy, Cal Gilson had a great series right there, Boots.
4th down and 5 now for the Rebels. They'll be forced to punt again, and Feltz is back by himself in punt return formation. So with 10 on the line, does it look like the Jackets try to go after a block here, John?
Well, they've been kicking it averaging about 40 yards. So, you know, you're looking to get the ball around your own 35.
Well, the Jackets look like they might be coming here. We'll wait and see. Snap back to Davis. They do not. Just token pressure. Kick is away. High, booming, spiraling kick that will be fair caught signal. But the ball takes an incredible Stephenville bounce in Stephenville territory, kicks all the way back about 12 yards into Richland territory. The kick actually goes 19 yards. Boy, that's amazing, because at one point that ball was probably a good 30 yards downfield.
No, check that, 22, I'm sorry.
22.
No, that was the line of scrimmage 25? It was, wasn't it? So it's 17 yards.
17 yards is all the kick was, where at one point that ball was close to the 40-yard line of Stephenville.
It sure was.
And this took an amazing backwards hop. This brand new turf has got great grab on it.
Yeah, it's good bent grass there. Look at this load up.
Briles running to the near side. Bad snap is thrown to him, but he'll try to get it back. Now he throws to an open receiver. Caught 30 and then dropped at the 28-yard line. A 1st down for the Jackets. The snap to Briles, one hop to him. He picked it up, didn't lose a stride, turned and threw back across the field to an open receiver, Madkins. He picks up on the play a 1st down after the completion goes 15 yards.
How's that for composure from your junior quarterback?
Boy, the ball one hop to him. He just dribbled it a little bit, then turned and threw back across the field.
Boy, that was great composure by Kendal.
1st and 10 for the Jackets at the 28-yard line. Running the option is Kendal. Good running room. Tries to get to the outside. He does. 20, 15, trying to make it to the corner. 5. He'll knocked out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Kendal Briles really wanted that one. You could tell as he stiff-armed the defensive back coming up to make the tackle was Justin Mason. He goes 20 yards on the carry.
I love to watch him use that stiff arm.
And it's 1st and goal to go for the Jackets now for their 4th consecutive drive, with the exception of the drive that ended the half in the red zone here against Birdville. 7 seconds remaining in the Texas Bank 3rd quarter.
Actually, Richland, you're seeing Birdville on the field.
Well, okay, Birdville High School maybe next year.
Okay, all right.
Briles is under center. Hammer time look behind him. 3 backs. Hand off to Walker. Walker powering his way to the 3-yard line. A pickup of about 1 on the play. And that will do it for the Texas Bank 3rd quarter. Our score, Stephenville 14, Richland 7. We're back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Cowboy Pickup Supply, Johnny, the place for trucks, but they now have...
I had to replace my old air conditioner. I wanted one to save me money.
So he called me, Roger Easter of Easter Air, your local Linux dealer.
He recommended an air conditioner that would save me 20%. Do I hear 30, 30 now, 40, 40 now, 50, 50 now, 60, 60% going once, twice to the Linux dealer who recommended high-efficiency system that would save me money.
Yep, save up to 60% or my name isn't Roger Easter.
You sure are a man of few words.
Just trying to be efficient.
Linux, one less thing to worry about.
Supporting the Jackets for over 30 years. Bill Tomlinson, class of 67. David Tomlinson, class of 71. The Stephenville Funeral Home, your family's friend in time of need in Stephenville.
Yardage that time for Stephenville in that quarter, Boots. 147 yards of total offense and no points. Now 339 yards of total offense for the Yellow Jackets.
Mama said one day you'd be a man, leader of a big old band. Briles under center, handoff over the left side, trying to dive to the end zone, being kept short at the 1. Can't quite tell who that was taking the handoff.
Bad spot. They're gonna say he's back at the 3-yard line.
Ooh, he dove to the, looked like the 1 to me. They're going to put him where he ended after the drive.
I think he might have still been moving a little bit, and so they say, well, they're going to mark it at the
4-yard line.
Yeah, it's
boy, horrible spot.
Closer to the 4 than the 3, although the scoreboard says he's on the 3.
So it's 3rd and goal to go from right there.
I think it's 100 time around the end.
Boy, the band's jamming over here. 3rd and goal to go for the Jackets. Briles under center. Play action. Rolling out. Looking to throw. Has an open receiver in the back of his end zone. Caught. Is it touchdown? Cal Gilson. What a great catch. He bobbled it momentarily, but held on as he went out of the end zone. Touchdown. Stephenville extends now 20-7 on the connection from Briles to Gilson.
Man, Gilson had that great defensive series where he made 2 solo tackles to trap Richland down their own end of the field, then comes back and scores the offensive touchdown. That's
nice play action from Briles to clear everything. Gilson was in a tight end position. Had to go high in the air to get that one.
Jordan, number 3, a little slow coming off the field as he kind of got train wrecked by those big wide receivers.
So the Jackets will send out their kicking personnel as they swing the gate back to the middle. They'll have to rehearsal, well, 15 seconds. They got plenty of time, more than I thought. Patronus getting set for the left-footed Eben Nelson. Snap back, hold down. Nelson's kick is up, and it is good. With 11:14 to go here in the Techstar Ford 4th quarter. Stephenville 21, Rebels of Richland 7. We're back in 1 minute.
Years before America's electric cooperatives forged the nationwide alliance, Touchstone Energy, neighbors built their own electric utility to power lives and communities. Now Touchstone Energy cooperatives serve millions of homes and businesses. Customers large and small get state-of-the-art technology and affordable service. From the one-room schoolhouse to the communities and businesses of tomorrow, trust Touchstone Energy, the power of human connections. Brought to you by your local Touchstone Energy partner.
Tanglewood Pharmacy and Tanglewood Medical Supplies are opening their doors to dole out those great products and services that everyone has come to know. Looks like some of their most recent customers have come from surrounding areas. Could this have something to do with the Stephenville Yellow Jackets? No matter where you're from or what you're doing in Stephenville, Tanglewood Pharmacy and Tanglewood Medical Supplies will open their doors to care for you personally.
Whether on or off the field, success requires focus, knowledge, and action. At Investment Centers of America, we focus on your goals, offer you our cumulative knowledge of investments, and recommended actions that fit your objectives. We enjoy being your coach, but you're the quarterback. After all, it is your money. Investment Centers of America, Town and Country Bank Building, Stephenville. Investment Centers of America. We know the territory.
After this kickoff, we'll go to Steve Ross on the sideline to must be a much happier sideline after that score.
By the way, 3rd quarter, Brownwood 14, Sweetwater 7. That's an interesting score.
Much like I'm sure they thought this one was. Virgin's kick, high pooch to the far sideline. It will be fair caught at the 30-yard line.
Oops.
He can't run after he does that, and the flag comes down.
Yep.
Exactly. Justin Hedrick made the fair catch call at the 30-yard line and then took off. They'll have the penalty against them. Let's go over to Steve Ross on the sideline. Steve, a little happier over there now?
A little bit, but you know, the defensive coaches for Stephenville before the offense scored on that play said, guys, when we score on this drive, we 3 and out them again. That's the ball game. And I really think you have to take your hat off to the Stephenville defense. They have put in a workmanlike effort over here. And if you could see how exhausted these guys are every time they come off the field, it's real sticky down here. Coach Colin Schillingaw and his staff are covering them up with icy towels every time they come off and getting all the water in them they can. It's been quite an effort tonight.
Rossi, have you gotten you an icy towel?
Well, no, I wanted a Slurpee and they wouldn't let me have one.
You know, Boots, I'd like to comment on something you said earlier right after this play.
Pokelewda under center, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line after 5 yards was stepped off on the penalty. Pokelewda in some trouble, way back. He'll be sacked back at the 16-yard line. Making the sack was Gordon Carroll, but causing it up the middle was Clayton Harmon, who flushed him to him.
Yeah, man, that was just a great pickup play there by Carroll. You know, you're exactly right. I was just noticing Ross standing down there on the sideline. You know, $11.9 million in this thing, and that down box is terrible.
On the what?
The change, you can't even see.
Oh, I know. 11.9 on a stadium, and you're going to put a down marker that's not 6 inches high when you have a press box 400 yards from it.
I guarantee you can't hardly see that thing.
So it's 2nd down and 17, officially 7 on the loss as the ball's back to the 18-yard line. Pokluda under center, 2 backs behind him. Straight drop, looking to throw out in the flats. Has a receiver caught and then dropped after a good tackle on the catch. Fanning making the play on.
Is that 10?
Yeah, it looks like it might be Matt Joyce making the catch. The pickup will get him out to the 25, 26-yard line. Gets all of the sack back and 1 yard more. So it's 3rd down and 9 as we go under 10 minutes and counting here in the Techstar Ford 4th quarter, 21-7.
You know, that was a good catch there as he was bobbling, and Fanning came up and put the big lick on him, and boy, credit the receiver there for Richland.
Pokluda under center. Ball at the 26-yard line, running the quarterback sack, and he will go sack nowhere. Quarterback sneak on the quarterback draw, and look who piles off of him last.
Clayton Harmon.
Yeah.
Coach Copeland, there's the answer to your question. Who's going to step up and stop that play? That time 66 did a pretty good job. Good series there by Harmon.
4th down now and about 10, a loss of 1 on the play. So no yardage for the Rebels on that drive as Felts gets back at about his own 40-yard line. And now going back deep with him is Brady Gunn. Getting set to kick is
chicken dance
Russ
music?
Davis. Davis stands at about his own 10-yard line awaiting the deep snap to kick. Snap back to him is a good one. Kick is away. Spiraling kick. This is a good kick. It will be taken by Gunn at the 35-yard line. Finds a seam across the 40. Finds another seam, 45 across midfield. Keeps going. Gets his jersey pulled, but he pulls forward himself. Gets to the 45, and a flag will come down all the way at the 38-yard line. And Johnny, did you see where that flag was thrown from?
Yeah, about the 50, and they're going to mark it way back at the 38. That was a 39-yard punt that time,
and he had a return of about 20 yards, did Gunn. And did you notice when the punt was coming to Gunn that he paused so carefully and watched that ball completely into his hands? After what's happened to him a little bit earlier in the game, I'm sure he said, I'm going to be very careful.
Yeah.
Now the block in the back will take away completely that return, and they'll mark the ball all the way back to the 24-yard line. The penalty, and John, the guy that threw the flag was on the far sideline at the 45-yard line on the far side and threw it all the way to the 35 across, so about a 20-yard flag throw.
Well, he had the wind at his back. You know, Boots, they haven't got smart enough. Officials haven't got smart enough to figure out they've just about screwed up the NFL with those calls. Now they're trying to do it to high school football. There's got to be some way that you can make that rule work where it's not called on every return.
And it is almost every time. Jackets will be called for illegal motion. Mr. Haney got a little bit excited that time and jumped offside, so it'll be 1st down and 15.
Well, that might have been one where he could have stood up and then just gone in motion or something, because he was the outside receiver. But I guess when you go forward toward the line, that's when they're going to drop the flag.
8:46 to go here in the Techstar Ford fourth quarter, 21-7, Stephenville on top. Stephenville with the football now 1st and 15 at their own 23-yard line.
Going the wrong direction here to start this drive.
1 point after the punt return. We're at the 45-yard line of Richland. They're now at their own 23. Pitch out to Zach. Zach trying to find the corner. He does somewhat. Squirts forward to about the 28-yard line. Pick up about 5 on the play. It'll set up 2nd down and 10.
Well, he got the penalty yardage back, and yeah, as you said, now it's just 2nd down and 10. By the way, I'm almost overlooking this fact. The Stephenville defense gave up some bigger yardage in that Weatherford game, especially right at the middle and the quarterback sneak and some of those other plays, as you'll recall last week. Still, in a little over 7 quarters, have given up 14 points.
Very nice. Briles under center, 2 receivers near side, 1 behind him is Walker. Play action now. Briles rolling out, has an open receiver deep, but he'll elect to throw to a short man over the head of Hunter. Had Mackins clearing deep, but I think there was some rush on Briles that didn't allow him to really get set and look downfield. Over the head of Hunter, it'll bring up now 3rd down and about 11.
And I'll stop the clock with exactly 8 minutes to go in this ball game. And well, I'm sure these guys working up here at this facility are glad to have this first game under the belt and just about over with.
Two receivers near side, one to the far side. Briles is in shotgun with Hunter standing next to him. Briles awaiting the snap. Snap back to him, running the option inside trap handoff to Hunter. Hunter trying to find a seam, a little one, 31-yard line, a pickup of about 4 or 5 on the play, and he'll set up 4th down and about 8 for the Jackets. And Stephenville seems determined to make the draw work tonight with Hunter. Have not had a tremendous amount of success tonight, but enough to keep the chains moving a little bit.
Well, I think they're working on that philosophy. He's had one big run in about the last 17 games in a row, going back to last year.
Well, is this the first punt for Stephenville tonight?
Yes.
I believe it is. O'Neill is back to punt for the Jackets, getting set. The kick is away. Flags down everywhere. Big booming kick will chase the Rebel return man back to his 27-yard line, and he'll get forward to about the 32-yard line.
This may be against Stephenville.
Is Jordan, and boy, this flag came early, didn't it?
Almost like it was holding.
Well, let's wait and see what the call is. The flag was dropped immediately when the ball was snapped, it seemed like. We are 21-7, Stephenville on top of Richland.
Yeah, I think this is going to be maybe holding on Stephenville. One of the upbacks.
But I believe Richland is going to decline and just take the football out at the 33-yard line. We'll wait on the call. It is.
Guy left too early.
Incomplete. I mean, I should say it is declined.
42-yard punt.
Well, you're going to give me what 2 hands on top of the head means?
Now for the referee or for me?
Yes.
That means I'm in the recliner.
Let's see if I can get the coach.
Isn't that a guy leaving too early?
I don't know. What does this mean, guys? Stephenville coaches aren't going to talk to me. Just a little glass between us, about an inch of glass.
Can you blame them?
7:12 to go in the Techstar Ford fourth quarter. Stephenville 21.
I'm sure I'll get plenty of calls this week to tell us, Boots.
Johnny, that means this. Pocluda under center, 2 backs behind him. A lot of people ask what game we're watching. Well, sometimes it's different. Pocluda straight drop, throwing out in the flats, has a receiver. It's caught out to the 45-yard line, 47-yard line before he's tackled is Michael Moody. Making the stop is Phelps and Fanning for the Jackets. Gilson out there as well.
15-yard gain there.
First down for Richland. Boy, you are right, Johnny, because the defense has been on the field for so long tonight, it's just not a look that Stephenville fans are used to see the offense not scoring quick bunches like they've seen in the past. 6:48 and counting. Pocluda again under center.
Boy, are we spoiled.
Carter, exactly. Looking to throw, still looking to throw, in some trouble. Big Scott Lee just wraps up Pocluda when he tries to throw the football over the head of the intended receiver, Matt Joyce.
Pocluda's like, I don't have the ball.
Get off of me, please.
Leave me alone. Well, so, big fella, throw it a little quicker.
2nd down and 10. Clock stops at the 6:39 mark.
I feel like I'm at the ballpark in Arlington when I hear that.
What is the Rangers score anyway?
It was tied earlier.
Shane, what's the score? Would you tell Justin, please? 2nd down and 10.
Nothing like a little private message here.
Inside talk, we don't care.
All right.
Pocluda under center. Straight drop for him, looking to throw. And some pressure, throwing the deep ball. It's up for grab, and it's picked off by Gunn. Going the other way, 40, 45, looking for a seam. Great block. 40, inside, 1 man to beat, and Pocluda makes the tackle. The quarterback at the 39-yard line. 30 yards on the return after the pick by Gunn, and I think that's a nice feeling for Brady Gunn to get that under his belt.
He goes, yeah, now I got one. Now I got one. Throw it back here again. I won't miss another one.
Pocluda kind of just threw that ball up, didn't he?
And Brady Gunn will tell you, he should have had at least 3 of them tonight. And yeah, he didn't give his offense any chance on that pass.
Well, certainly the defense does another great job of helping this offense.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Let's stick one here in the end zone and take any doubt out of this football game. I think it's already over, but they can reassure them right here.
Twins to the near side, 1 receiver far side. Briles is under center with 1 back behind him. Play action, Briles setting up, looking to throw, throwing the deep ball for Bashaw. It's over his head. I should say it's over the defender's head, but he jumps and knocks it away. Underthrown was the ball as Bashaw was clearing at the 5-yard line. And boy, that's one where we talked about earlier where Briles was putting too much underneath the ball. That time he's trying to make the adjustment, doesn't quite have enough.
Well, that's just great read by the defense. They were playing awfully deep, and he wasn't going to let Bashaw run by him at all that time, and just good defense.
10-4, good buddy. Rangers leading the White Sox by that score, and let's just hope they don't bring Zimmerman in the ninth.
Easy.
Quick throw out to O'Neill. Good catch inside the 30. The quick hitter down to the 28-27-yard liner. I'm the knee-jerk reaction guy. 12 yards on the completion from Briles to O'Neill.
You didn't have to tell me that. I've worked with you for 6 years. That information I already had, brother. Fourth quarter scores for you now. Brownwood 28. Is that what that is? Sweetwater 14. Midlothian 18. Cleburne 16. That's in the fourth quarter.
Briles is in shotgun. 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. Briles rolling that way, setting up, looking to throw. In some trouble now. He'll escape and he'll run. 30, 25, cuts back. 20, now back to the outside. 15, 10, looking for a seam and will go out of bounds at the 6-yard line. A la NFL quarterback. Very nice, saving the bod.
Man, what a great fake right there about the 20-yard line, Boots, where he faked inside and then got another, what, 12, 13 yards.
So it's first and goal to go for the Jackets inside the 7-yard line of Richland at the 5:36 mark, and people starting to file out now on the Richland side.
And filing very nicely, I might say.
In an orderly fashion.
Yeah.
Briles is under center. One back behind him is Hunter. 2 wing backs on the far side. Inside trap, handoff to Walker, finds a seam to about the 4-yard line, and then
Did he lose the ball?
backward, and the ball may have come loose. Let's wait and see. They're making a spot at the 4, but they'll call it second down, and Walker is now limping noticeably as he'll go to the sideline.
This is that call I like when they make on the NFL. Ground can't cause the fumble. Well, it did.
Saw it pop out.
I saw it come out when he hit it.
5:11 and counting in the Techstar Ford fourth quarter. Stephenville 21, Richland 7.
Maybe we can get a Cross Timbers orthopedic injury update here from Steve Ross in just a moment, as Walker is noticeably limping, as you said.
Over on the sideline. So 2 backs, Haney and Hunter, behind Briles under center. They're in the I formation. Now Hunter, the tailback, goes in motion that way. Throwing the fade pattern up for Douglas. Douglas comes in, makes the catch, but he'll have a penalty against him because he went out of bounds. Came in and made the catch. So the flag, is it a 5-yard penalty from the place of the foul or from the line of scrimmage?
I think it's line of scrimmage, and that's here's a sign you don't see very often, Boots, the official's fixing to make, the referee. Illegal touching the ball.
Illegal touching.
That just sounds funny in football.
Well, it's a rule that if the receiver goes out of bounds and comes back in, then it is illegal touching. He cannot be the first person to touch the football.
I got news for the referee.
Illegal touching again. What? Whoop, he pointed the wrong direction, I think. What? It's even lower. We are back. A quick technical problem there. A penalty against Stephenville, I thought. What's the scenario on this, John? It was illegal touching against Douglas, who went out of bounds and came back in to catch the football.
The Richland coaches are wanting to know the same thing. They're calling the official over right now going, well, what's the call?
Because it's either got to be a penalty and then it's the same down. The only way it can be this, it can't even be this third and at the 4-yard line again, because if they decline, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, because they went out of bounds. Actually, I thought he was out of bounds when he touched. Well, that was what I was going to say. I thought he was out of bounds when he caught the ball.
They may have ruled that he was out of bounds and never got back in to make the catch, and if that is the case. All right, it is third down and goal to go. Pitch out in the flats. It goes to Mackins. Mackins across the goal line. Touchdown. Jeremy Mackins took the swing pass from Briles out of shotgun. Goes across for the score, and Stephenville extends now. 27-7 at the 4:40 mark of the Techstar Ford fourth quarter.
Well, that was a great play that time. A little misdirection, and Matkins, I don't even believe he was touched going into the end zone.
Well, and I believe a little bit that Richland may have been in the same quandary we were, saying, isn't there supposed to be a flag right now? Snap back, Petronas. Kick on the way is up, and it is good. So with 4:40 to go in the fourth quarter, our score, Stephenville 28, Richland 7, back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Nip in the air, changing leaves, can only mean one thing.
It's football season!
I'm Roger Easter, your local Lennox dealer, and it's also home heating season.
I have the ditch, the big screen, the recliner.
He also has a reliable, high-efficiency Lennox heat pump.
Yep,
This season, this is the best seat in the house, baby.
Thanks to Easter Air, it's also the one.
Lennox, one less thing to worry about.
Stephenville auto player. You make an effort, we'll make the difference. Walk in, drive out.
Four plays, 39 yards, took a minute and 35 seconds.
Along with number 2,
and Briles to Matkins on that 4-yard pass, and PAT were 4 for 4 on that tonight, Boots. 28-7 is our score. That scoring summary brought to you by the Walmart Vision Center.
After this kick, I went and talked with the Stephenville coaches right there during the break, and wanted to tell you what they had to say about that last penalty, no-call penalty that they overruled. Okay. Virgin getting set. Kick is up. Deep kick will be taken by someone, finally taken by Davis at the 15 after the 20, 25, keeps his feet across the 30, 35, and out to the 38-yard line. Good return.
Godly make on special teams. He's all over the place.
Flying everywhere. Their opinion was that Douglas did go out of bounds, came back in, made the catch. It was illegal touching, and that the penalty should have been applied, but was not. And they said that's why the Richland coaches were down there saying to the officials, excuse me, why aren't you going to mark this penalty off?
And they got some kind of explanation, and the coach seemed to accept it, Boots. So there's got to be something.
The only thing I can think is if the official ruled that
he was still out of bounds.
He was still out of bounds and made the catch.
That's what I thought.
But that still is the official that threw his own flag. Well, that's unusual. Pokluda throwing out in the flats, has a receiver, and then he's in a well of trouble. All the way back at the 41-yard line. Well, actually a gain of 1 on the play after the catch is made by Elvis Gallegos.
Maybe Ross has an update for us now on
Walker. Go ahead, Steve-O.
Another Cross Timbers Orthopedics injury update. David Walker really got bent backwards over his left leg on that play. It looked like just a strain maybe of his quad, but I know he's okay because he was in there on kickoff coverage on that last play.
All righty, thank you, Stevie. Pokluda is under center, 2nd down and officially 8, we'll call it. The draw play being stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain after the handoff, and the draw was made to Anthony Jordan. Johnny, did you see who's in on the stop?
Was it 68? I think it was. I think that was Nathan Wilson that just came into the game. Great quick speed there you see by Wilson up front. Also, Chad Hodges is in there as well. Some other players getting a little playing time. Daniel Medina, I see him out there.
Richie Petronas getting some time over at the strong safety position.
Harrison is at the other 2 technique, and the other defensive end, we'll call that here in just a second.
Pokluda under center, straight drop, looking to throw, still looking, under a big rush by Harrison, throws out in the flats and is tackled after the completion is made for no gain. Catch is made on the sideline by Anthony Jordan, up quickly for the Jackets out there. It looked like 30, but I do not have 30 on my roster. I was told that a couple JVers were being brought up this week, but we did not get that given to us on the program of who that would be.
That's exactly who I was just trying to figure out. He got kind of tangled up with a couple of guys that time trying to make the defensive play.
28-7, Stephenville on top of Richland, 2:36 and counting here in the Techstar Ford 4th quarter.
Well, it looks like Stephenville's going to come away with another 3, maybe 4 touchdown margin victory tonight. But it was a hard-fought game tonight. You got to give the Rebels credit, Boots.
Delay of game against the Rebels. Yeah, and this was a game tonight where the Stephenville offense, as Art Briles talked about, we have to learn the personality of this offense. They had a couple times, 3 times, as a matter of fact, in a row in the red zone without coming away with any points. And I know one of the stat sheets that the Jackets hang up in their coach's office, they say, is score every time inside the 20. And I know that's something that Art Briles will be a little bit disappointed with, but it's still early in the season with this young offense. Snap back is fumbled momentarily, and then the kick is away. Kind of the pooch-type kick is down at the 30, inside the 25 to the 24, 23, 22-yard line. 43 yards on the kick from Russ Davis, and that's where Stephenville will begin 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line, leading 28-7 over Richland with 2:07 remaining.
I think Stephenville will be happy just to maybe grind out 2 minutes and 7 seconds and get on the bus and head south.
Has a timeout been called? I saw the officials pointing, and I believe it has. A timeout's been taken on the field. We'll take one with them. We're back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Hi folks, this is Greg Bruner for Bruner Motors, and we're gearing up for another year of Stephenville sports. There's no better way to get to this year's games than in a new car or truck from Bruner Motors. Now's a good time to check out our prices on new Chevy half-ton pickups or Pontiac Sunfires, and we've got financing to fit almost any budget. So drop by this week at Bruner's on the South Loop. And don't forget to support the Stephenville Yellow Jackets as they go for their 4th state championship.
Yellow Jackets!
Rebates on almost everything we sell.
Looks like everybody's going to be there. Where? It's Sexton Ford out of Stephenville. If I come by, what do you get me?
I've got this 4-wheel drive diesel pickup. Let's go.
Okay.
Back to action. Pitch on the near side from Petronas to Josh Wooten now in the ball game, picking up about, we'll give him a credit of a yard on the play out and past the 23-yard line. A bunch of other players getting some playing time right now, Johnny, but I know you've got some scores.
From the third quarter now, Goldthwaite has gone out in front of Comanche 28 to 14. We told you Midlothian in front of Cleveland 18-16. And the final out of District 13 6-man, Brooks Smith 60, Sydney 14. That's a final.
2nd and 9 for the Jackets. Petronas running the offense, giving the ball straight ahead to Derek Haney. Haney gets out to the 25-yard line, a pickup of about 1.5 yards on the play. So it'll set up third down. Richland's calling a timeout. Goodness gracious. 1:18 remaining in the 4th quarter. Stephenville 28, Richland 7. We're back in 1 minute.
Look at that Chevy Silverado. I could rule the pasture in that. And there's a new Sunfire. I could get some bovine babes with that. And how about that Montana? Big enough to hold all my little doggies. With all these nice cars and trucks, you'd think this guy could find an easier way to ride to work.
Hey, watch it. A little bull goes a long ways. I'm Greg Bruner for Bruner Motors. Come see us on the South Loop in Stephenville.
Years before America's electric cooperatives forged the nationwide alliance, Touchstone Energy, neighbors built their own electric utility to power lives and communities. Now Touchstone Energy cooperatives serve millions of homes and businesses. Customers large and small get state-of-the-art technology and affordable service. From the one-room schoolhouse to the communities and businesses of tomorrow, trust Touchstone Energy, the power of human connections. Brought to you by your local Touchstone Energy partner.
At Jake and Dorothy's Cafe, we're serving our 3rd generation. The year was 1948. The same year LP records were introduced. Harry S. Truman was elected president, and Humphrey Bogart was packing them in with Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Jake and Dorothy Roach began offering high-quality food, prompt-friendly service, and fair prices. This almost overnight success continues today under the direction of their daughter, Carrie Roach, who's proud to continue Jake and Dorothy's commitment to providing the best food, service, and price in the area. At Jake and Dorothy's, a little bit of history comes with every meal.
Stephenville, Granville.
Once again, back to action. Petronas pitching out in the flats to Josh Wooten. Wooten knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. No gain. So it sets up 4th down for the Jackets, and Mr. O'Neill will be called on to punt. And has another timeout been taken? It sure has.
No, he went out of bounds. Well, that was ignorant.
Why would you take a timeout when the guy got run out of bounds? That is the last timeout, I hope, for the Rebels, is it not?
That's 3 they've taken.
Well,
they don't have it on the scoreboard.
Says they've still got 2 remaining.
Why would you take a timeout when a guy went out of bounds? Thank you. We'll get that out of the way.
How about that? Well, let's just stick it right here for a second.
They've got it down to 0 now. Well, let's see. 2nd punt for Stephenville upcoming from the, what, 25? 25. So they'll get the ball somewhere around maybe the 40 after a return, maybe a 45. I love they burned that time. Got that over with.
Well, Brownwood on top of 28-14. That's the last we heard. Is that 20 or 28-14? 28. 28-14. Nice pin light, Justin.
Yeah.
And I think that Brownwood, in some ways, is going to be similar to Stephenville offensively from this standpoint. For so many years, 4 to be exact, Colby Freeman was everything to that offense, and now they're going through some of the changes that Stephenville has with new personnel, new stars, new people having to step up, and I think that it's just a situation where they're trying to find themselves as well on offense, and boy, by the 6th or 7th week of the season, that could be a very entertaining ball game. O'Neill's kick is away, end-over-end kick that will hit at about the 45-yard line and stop right there, but then take a couple little steps forward and be stopped at the 43, 32 yards on the kick from O'Neill, and that's where the Richland Rebels will begin.
Did you notice they never did touch the ball? That was great. They milked a lot of time off that clock. It's 14 seconds to be exact.
58 seconds remaining in the Techstar Ford fourth quarter. Stephenville 28, Richland 7.
That's good coaching right there. Don't touch the ball. The clock will keep running until somebody touches it. Finally, the official just blew his whistle. Well, do you think Brady Gunn's ready for another interception back there, if he's in?
I think that not only is he thinking about that, if he is in, he's probably thinking about, can I go score?
Yeah, I don't even think Brady's in.
I do not see him in there at the time. Several other guys getting some playing time on the defense right now as Pecluda drops back, looking to throw. Really airs this one out deep. He's got a great arm, and it's up and almost picked off on the far sideline. The cornerback on that side is Jeff Scott. Scott was in great position, and I will give Pecluda this. When he rears back and wants to throw it, he can throw it. That one was let go at the 40, and it went out of bounds about the 25. So you're talking about 35 to 40 yards.
Went across the field.
Across the field.
Well, there's the replay. You see it. He just storms back and, as you said, just nails it out. But it's not real hard to do when you don't have to actually throw it at anybody. You know,
just throw it as far as you can.
Throw it as far as you can, see what happens.
Pecluda again under center, second down and 10, 50 seconds remaining. Straight drop for him again, looking to throw, trying to set up the screen. He's in a lot of trouble. Pecluda is sacked all the way back to the 35-yard line. Getting credit for the sack is going to be Scott Lee, who cratered in on Pecluda after he'd been flushed back to him.
And I think Harrison was in there as well, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and that was a great play. And Harrison he's had a great night on defense.
35-yard line is the spot after the sack. A loss of 18, 23 seconds and counting.
I think it's safe.
Pecluda under center once again. Third down, and now Pecluda.
You don't have one, sir.
Does not have a timeout, so he tries to take one anyway. I don't think I've ever seen that in football. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, finally gets it away before the clock expires. That ball will go out of bounds incomplete with 1 second remaining on the game clock. We were counting down the play clock earlier, and
I agree with you, Boots. I don't know that I've ever seen that happen.
I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback lift from center and try to take a timeout late in the game and not have any timeouts left.
What was great is the referee didn't give him any assistance on that. He just looked at him.
Like, what are you thinking? Too bad we don't have the basketball rule. Technical. Sorry, right there. We let the other team kick a free field goal from right where you are for trying that. What a great rule that would be. All right, get everybody off the field. We're going to let Stephenville try a 25-yard technical field goal.
Exactly. And you got to drop kick it to do it.
Well, the play clock is expired, and so 5 yards.
Oh, man.
Boy, this is just unraveling quickly for the Rebels.
Aren't you glad you called all those timeouts at the end of the game?
Oh,
I think this puts a bad taste in your mouth at the end of the game.
Boy, and
just let the clock run out.
And hand it to Richland. They really hung in this game a long time with Stephenville.
They really did. It's 14-7 at the. It's 14-7 at the half. It's 14-7 in the fourth quarter, actually.
Pecluda is under center. 1 second remaining. Straight drop, and he'll go to a knee. There's a nice bit of chivalry for you right there. So that's our final score tonight. Stephenville 28, Richland 7.